Tornado Tag Podcast. We are back, episode 159, last matches.
Mm-hmm.
So give us a quick rundown what we're going to be covering here tonight, Brian.
I think we're going to cover last matches mainly.
So
pretty self-explanatory, this one.
by definition, what are we talking last match?
Actually, we are. We're going to talk about matches that were billed as a last match.
When
and
guys say they're going
Yeah.
to retire when they have a match.
That happens?
Yep.
On-
Well, yeah, it happens a lot. They say they're going to retire.
And then we will look at some people who have had their actual last matches. Most likely, you never know unless they've passed.
Is there any last matches that they didn't realize they were having their last match?
Oh, yeah,
Yes.
all the time.
Yeah.
Usually.
I think Roddy Piper was one.
Yeah, most likely.
Well, he came back later, right?
He came back pretty late.
I'm going to say like a last match where he probably didn't realize he was having his last match, like Rick Rude.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I
Rick,
think his last match was New Japan, wasn't it?
it was the
No.
match with, I believe it was the
broke his
match with
back.
Sting where he broke his back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was training for a comeback when he passed.
Yeah.
He wanted to come back and wrestle in WWF against Austin, but
But we'll cover all that.
Yeah.
We're going to do some current events, but we do have some quick news here for the podcast before we get started. So if you are someone who subscribed to the Patreon before, it is back. So what we changed up a little bit, instead of just subscribing to a network podcast, it is going to be dedicated to each show. So if you're a fan of Bangin' Beers, if you're a fan of Truth Behind Illusion, if you're a fan of any other shows, they have all their own Patreon. So now we can kind of see who's supporting what, and then we can kind of cater to those people. Because, like, for example, if we had 15 Patreons in the last time and 6 of them were only there for Bangin' Beers and we're trying to do a giveaway for TBI, they're like, fuck that show, I don't care.
Yeah.
Not saying that show is bad. I'm just saying like they're more so it's easier to kind of fine tune
I
our
think
audience.
I think we just found our slogan. Tornado Tag Podcast. Fuck that show. I don't care.
Yeah, there it is. So if you want to support the Patreon, it is general support right now. There's no bonus content or anything, but that can change if, there's demand for it. So you can do any price point you want to do. It's completely just kind of helping us pay the bills. So we have nothing really there yet. So if you want to support, that is there. We are now being monetized audio only. So if you listen to an audio podcast, we make a couple cents, which is kind of dope. So if you are listening to this, subscribe to us on your favorite audio platform and leave us a review and listen to those because that helps. Also, the merch page. We have the merch page up. You can go grab some cool stuff from there. Also, in our link tree, there is a tip jar. So if you don't want to subscribe to a monthly payment, you can just do like, hey, here's $1. Great show.
A one-time donation.
A one-time donation.
There's
So
some-
we're giving options to make some cash here.
Some brand new stuff in that merch page.
Yeah, so we do. I want to kind of run through real quick. So Haley Stokes, who is a local artist here, she's absolutely fantastic. We had series 1. We'll put them up on the screen real quick. Someone just gave us the laugh emoji. I don't know. Oh, Ryan Vox gave us a laugh emoji.
Ryan Vox also in the chat said, I didn't realize I was having my last match.
Yeah, there you go.
See, yeah, it happens.
Yeah. Oh, I don't have the chat open right now, but here's series.
We'll get there.
Where is that? Why is it not popping up? That's cool.
Mhm.
Oh, that's because I have it under background. All right, so that's not going to help us at all. Let's do this real quick. Talk a little bit.
So, last matches.
So who's all excited for Hell in a Cell this weekend?
Yeah. I was gonna say, I hope that's the last Hell in a Cell match for quite some time. Because, like,
Why did they ever change the month? It used to be October
yeah,
all the time.
because of Halloween thing,
Halloween,
and they
right.
switched it for who knows. But the problem is, like, it's a pay-per-view that you have to do the Hell in a Cell match. So, like, it doesn't.
Right.
The
Yeah.
storyline might not require Hell in a Cell, but you have to do it because
Right.
that's the
So
pay-per-view.
You're booking yourself kind of in a corner.
Yeah.
with it. It's
That's why
no
I don't like
longer
that.
special.
Like-
then.
And hopefully it will be the bluff of a feud, just because how many times can Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins
Yeah.
wrestle? And that's your only Hell in a Cell
What
match.
happens to Cody after that? Like, who does he go on to?
You
next?
would think he goes for the belt, right?
But now
Roman's not around.
now there's talking about like Roman might not wrestle until SummerSlam.
Jesus.
Because it seems like they're going to be doing Riddle and Nakamura against the Usos at Money in the Bank. The rumor was Riddle against Roman at Money in the Bank, but now maybe that's not the case.
Yeah.
Also in the show, Bianca defending the Raw Women's title against Asuka and Becky Lynch.
That should be good.
Bobby Lashley against Omos and MVP in a handicap
No,
match.
thank you.
Ezekiel against Kevin Owens.
Yes.
I'll take a pass on that one.
Yeah.
Kevin Owens is pretty good.
Yeah, Kevin Owens is.
The United States title on the line. Theory against Mustafa. or
Ezekiel's
Mustafa
way better
Ali.
than his brother, though.
I'm still waiting for Ezekiel versus Elias. We're gonna
Yeah.
have to make that happen somehow.
Cinematic match.
Yep.
Theory against Mustafa Ali for the U.S. title, and then a mixed 6-person tag match: Finn Balor, AJ Styles, Liv Morgan against Edge, Damian Priest, and Rhea Ripley.
And you
That
can
might
head
be
over.
good.
You can head over to Pro Wrestling Scorecards, and you can join our faction, and you can play along with us.
The big- Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
the big rumor there, maybe Finn Balor turns heel and joins Judgment.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. All right. So real quick. So Haley Stokes, a local artist, she helped us with our logos in the past. So I kind of want to give her a little shout out here. So our series 1, our very first logo we did for people who don't know, was the Adina Steel Kit Raff logo. So that's super, super dope. Then we kind of did a series 2 where we had Cosmic, Centon, and Seaton and Rembrandt.
His name should be Senton though. It's an
Yeah,
actual
Should be.
movie.
Yeah.
It looks more like he looks more like a Centon. Yeah.
So then we kept now we try to do something different with series 3 where we're doing a 5-in-1 series. So we
A
started
wave.
a
like
wave,
action figures.
like a wave of action figures, exactly. And these are going to happen now probably every 8 to 9 months, unless we make enough money that I can pay our artists that we can do them more frequently. But it costs a lot of money to get a bunch of logos done. So we brought in a main event for our next set is here for our first tag team on Tornado Tag Podcast logos. Then we went with our first manager with CR O'Malley. Then we went with a manager / star wrestler. So it's Dark STG and
I forget the manager.
he changed it and it's like Vito or something, or VT. I don't know. It's
Vigo.
like
know.
The
it's like
Carpathian.
Vigo.
a spooky name.
Oh, that'd be funny if it was Vigo, like in Ghostbusters 2.
Hold on, I'll get it in here in 1 second.
All right, I want to get that like poster mock painting and put it in my house.
Oh my
somewhere.
god.
Like top of the steps.
No.
There's Vigo, the Carpathian.
Vigo.
Yeah, I'm terrible with fucking names.
I thought you meant like
When you
Viggo
come-
Mortensen.
When you come to the podcast possessed, then I'm not
Yeah.
helping you.
Then I look like some kind of weird bear.
I
creature.
can't. Yeah, I'm not gonna go looking for pink slime to help
Yeah.
you.
What if I get what's his name? Janish? Janish?
Janish.
I was way off.
Zio.
Zio Zagan, or
Oh my-
Zagan.
Wow,
Zagan.
that is very
Yeah.
That's
Zio
right out of
Zagan.
Necronomicon.
And then today we just announced our brand new wrap up.
Oh yeah, never mind. I thought
Yeah,
there was
to
one missing.
wrap up this series, we are announcing JC Storm.
Mhm.
I mean,
She looks like a Green Lantern.
she does.
The new Pro Wrestling Magic Women's Champion, JC.
Yes.
About that.
Yeah. And then what better way to end
Mhm.
series 3? There's no one better than Andy Header.
Yeah, look at
There
that.
it
right
is.
there.
Soon to be the new PPW television champion.
Yeah, current
Time.
RCW Ultimate Champion.
There
as
you
well,
go.
so I just wanna put-
There you go. So we got an Andy
Until
Header
Mr.
logo.
Ooh La La takes it. Until
Yeah, it's on Saturday.
Mr. Ooh La La
So
takes it.
there are the logos. Thank you all so much. A lot of people saying they really enjoyed them. Big fans of them. So there we go. Here we got here in the chat. We got Ronnie saying greeting wrestling fans. Ryan Vox saying I didn't know I was having my last match. We talked about that earlier. Harley hanging out with us. What a big hey. Ryan says I don't like the Ollie theory, but I don't like Ollie first theory because I don't want to choose. She said love it here. The logos. Absolutely love it. So she's commenting. Just shared. Sorry, I can't list them at JoJo's graduation. Gio, that's
Oh, a little
completely
bit more
fine.
important.
Well, congratulations.
Yeah.
to
I bet.
JoJo.
Yeah.
Congratulations, and also thank you for the share. It does help us out a lot. No hate to y'all. But she's really rude to her fans, and
Oh,
a lot
boy.
of people had bad experiences with her. She also is very dedicated to her character. So if she's a heel, she will.
I mean, sometimes there's a time for that. Sometimes there's not.
Agreed. Yeah.
I don't know. I can't say. I haven't really had interaction.
Yeah. Like example, Christina Marie,
Mhm.
heel, but when you talk to her backstage, she's gonna be Christina. She's happy to see you. But some heels
It depends. So who
are
knows?
very.
Case in point, MJF.
Yeah.
And then congratulations to JoJo. Absolutely, Ryan Box. Thank you for that. But yeah,
Hey, you can see JoJo's work at JoJo Photos on Facebook, Ringside Photography.
and
Yeah.
JoJo inspired our very first logo with Adina and Kit.
yeah, she
Oh,
did.
she took that picture.
Yeah,
Oh,
she
okay.
took that photo. Yep.
Oh,
That was
I
at the GSW reunion show
Yeah.
right before COVID hit.
Mhm.
Yeah, that match sucked me in. I was into it the whole time.
Yeah, that was a fun show.
I was a huge Kit Rat fan going in, and I was like, "Fuck, man, this guy I'm such a fan." Then I was like, if I only ever seen Adina like in her early stages when she was kind of just like getting squashed in
Mhm.
PPW, and I was like, she's fucking got it. And then she took the whole summer and like fucking got jacked. It was awesome. She she really turned her game around. But yeah, so that are the new logos. So if you want to support that, you can go grab those. That's pretty much it. Patreon, merch, all that fun stuff. Let's get it out of the way. Let's get into current event news.
So we got to talk about MJF, right?
Yeah.
that's the big one this week.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Uh,
there's some MJF news. I don't know if he's heard. Some things happened.
How could you not hear? It's been the talk of the whole weekend.
Yeah, it started on what, Saturday?
Saturday,
Saturday with the Phantom plane ride ticket.
Yeah.
Well, no.
well,
First,
no.
it was the meet and greet.
he no
Yeah,
showed.
we were Tony and I were like hanging out completely non-wrestling related, and all of a sudden we're like, oh, there seems to be something going on with MJF, and it's like he no showed a meet and greet. And like we're hanging out with people who have nothing to do with wrestling, and anytime that they leave to go do something else, we're like scrambling to our phones, like, what's going on with MJF? What's going on with MJF? And so he no-shows a meet and greet. Apparently, he was playing slots in the casino while the meet and greet's going on. And there's been talk for months that he's not exactly happy with his contract. And there's been things that have come out now where when he started, he had like this entry-level deal, and a lot of the AW entry-level deals are reportedly somewhere around $40,000 to $70,000 a year.
Mm-hmm.
And
40, like you can get that at McDonald's. Like think about that. That's not that much for being a wrestler.
40 grand a year.
Can you get 40 grand a year just being a wrestler though? Like traveling the world on your own dime?
Well, not being it depends who you are independently. But
Yeah.
I mean, but if you're
that's like somewhat like
it's not much if you're a wrestler.
like $18 an hour.
Like
maybe
NXT, like back in the day.
If you
Another
gave me a
40 hour
job
week?
and I'm guaranteed $40,000 a year,
40,000 is not much, man.
it's about what I make now. Except I would love what I do.
I know, but like let's say you're paying for your travel.
If you're paying for your travel,
I'm
if
sure
you're
he
paying for your
wasn't. I'm
hotel.
sure he was never a 40,000 a year.
yeah,
guy.
but I'm just saying it's not much when you're a wrestler.
Maybe
Yeah.
Peter Avalon.
I've done
if you're
jobs
Peter-
I've hated for $40,000.
I know,
a year.
but I'm just
Yeah.
saying when
And
you're a
if you're-
wrestler, that's not that
That ain't much to
money.
put your body on the line. I
Yeah.
understand
Yeah.
that. But if you're
Yeah,
a
'cause-
if you're a Peter Avalon, I'd take that.
Because you got to think you're paying for your health insurance too.
So
Yeah.
then, at some point he did get bumped up and he was making six figures, but the talk was that there's people who aren't really as vital of a part of AEW. People like, no disrespect, like Christian Cage.
Mhm.
There's reports.
or-
We talked about it off camera, off TBI. And listen, if anyone's making good money, this is not a shot at them. I'm happy for you. But they showed like the top 10 list of who's making what.
Mhm.
Nyla's supposedly north of she's
Yeah.
in the 2 million
I didn't
club.
believe that. They also had Dean Ambrose instead of John Moxley.
I highly doubt.
So if you're
Yeah.
gonna make an AEW list,
Yeah,
put
you-
Dean Ambrose.
You don't put
Yeah.
Dean Ambrose. You put John
Here's the
Moxley.
thing with that: AEW does not have to disclose their salaries. They're not a publicly traded company.
Yeah, so the only person,
So-
I mean, it's hearsay.
Yeah,
Even if that
Hearsay.
person tells you, because it's wrestlers. Oh, I made this.
strongly doubt.
In the chat, she goes, a question for you guys. What tips would you say to someone who wants to become a wrestler? And Ryan Boggs says,
Don't
change your mind. And she said, oof, okay. Here's the deal. If you want to get in this business, in this industry, you really gotta love it because you're gonna go through some shit. You know what I mean?
Well, you're probably not
And-
gonna make much money.
Yeah,
You're
in
not
the
going to make a
beginning.
lot. You're going to put a lot of your time into training
Mhm.
as well as trying to work a job. You're going to come across people like
And you might be frustrated at just training wise. You know,
Yeah,
don't get discouraged.
some of your
you
best
know?
friends are going to kick you square in the balls when you're not looking.
Well-
you know what I mean? Like, and that's not even in the ring. You know what I mean?
I mean, it also depends on where you want to go. If you want to make it in WWE, you would probably want to be a college athlete at this point.
Yeah.
And listen, this is not me saying don't chase your dream. If this is what you want to do, go for it. Just be prepared. You're going to go with anything you do in life. There's going to be trials and tribulations,
Mhm.
and it's going to take a lot of hard work and dedication. And 80% of the people who jump in do not meet the goals that they're trying to do when it comes to getting a contract or being on TV or making big contracts. You're going to be going house shows to house shows. And if you're cool with that and that's your dream, then have fun doing it.
Yeah, I would imagine you have to be severely dedicated. Andy, you can chime in on this. Like you need to go to the gym lots. You need to train.
have to
lots,
be
at least
athletic
3 or
a
4
little
times
bit.
a week. Yeah.
So if you're not athletic at all, then maybe you be manager or something. Then
LA,
I mean,
yeah.
yeah, I mean, you know, you have to be somewhat athletic. You have to have good cardio.
Right.
If
So you
you
don't
if you want to be in
die
the
and-
business, because there's always room and it takes a lot of passion. I
Yeah.
agree. Yeah.
And don't necessarily expect that it's going to be your livelihood.
Yeah, that you can't go into it saying I'm gonna make a ton of money because at the beginning you're probably not, unless you're 6'9" or
Yeah.
you're a very hot girl. You know, like, and even then you might not. So
Yeah.
I would
Have
just,
a good mindset.
yeah, just
Become
have
a really
ideas.
good football player and then hurt your knee.
Oh god, yeah, there you go. Yeah,
Yeah.
That seems to work
No,
for
if you want,
most.
if you want to make it in WWE, really become an athlete, become a high level collegiate Olympic athlete.
yeah. You don't have to know anything about wrestling.
Mhm.
In fact, don't tell them if you do because it will be a strike against you.
Anyway, all right. So MJF.
So yeah, so the thing is, like, he is making reportedly significantly less than people like, say, a Christian Cage, who
Yeah.
is no disrespect to Christian Cage. He did main event and pay-per-view, but he has not been as vital a cog in the AEW machine as MJF has. So the talk was there was heated discussions with Tony Khan. I think MJF might have done like a podcast or a radio show or something without getting a green light. There was heat over that. And it all comes to a head over the weekend. And then there's this story, and apparently this didn't happen, but it was reported that there was a plane ticket for MJF to leave Las Vegas and come back to the East Coast before Double or Nothing. And so that was the talk all day Sunday. I mean, we did the Scorecards
Yeah.
podcast. Is MJF going to be there? Is the match going to get in the ring? And once it came out that that MJF did not leave the night before, it's like, okay, they're going to get the match in the ring.
And then he came out and did an airplane chant, like an
Yeah,
airplane.
he did an airplane move, and he got squashed by Wardlow. He played the chicken shit heel. He got powerbombed a billion times. He did a stretcher job, and you would have thought that, okay, that's probably going to be it for MJF for a little bit. And Sean Ross Sapp, he reported that obviously this started with legitimate feelings, like legitimate
He also
issues
said that
and-
he will have the first exclusive interview
No, he
with
didn't.
Son Ross Sapp on his Twitter. He did. He said
did not.
He goes.
I looked it up. He did not. He said he's going to talk about MJF. He didn't say he was going to talk to MJF.
Oh.
I thought I seen his tweet saying our post show we'll talk with MJF.
No, he said we'll talk MJF. He didn't say
Oh.
talk to MJF. Big difference.
Yes.
But yeah, no, Sean Ross Sapp. I mean, he was the one that kind of had the big plane story, and even Meltzer backed him up, where he's like, he believed it. He wasn't just making it up. He had documentation, but it was just inaccurate because it was a plane ticket for after Double
Yeah.
or Nothing.
Because
Right.
you would
Because
probably do
that's-
that to go home.
Yeah.
Right, that Saturday night plane that he was supposedly going to be on, like they said, he would have had to cancel the ticket, and that would have showed up in the itinerary there. And I guess somebody in that airport was a wrestling fan, and she looked it up, and there was no cancellation for
world.
MJF or Maxwell Friedman.
Mhm.
So
So what is believed, and nobody knows for sure because MJF is really, really good at playing his cards close to the vest,
And he's very good at
protecting his
blurring the
character.
lines.
Yes, he is. And so basically, it's believed that sometime along Monday-ish, between Double or Nothing and Dynamite, I don't know if nobody knows if a new deal was signed. Nobody knows if MJF has an extension and a raise or anything, but they certainly have come to enough terms that they're going to run with this now.
Yep.
And then you have the big promo on Dynamite.
Yes, we did.
Which was fantastic.
It was a great
Well,
promo.
a lot of times when he started yelling, it reminded me of Ric Flair.
It did.
Yeah.
I mean, that promo was Ric Flair meets CM Punk meets Stone Cold Steve Austin meets Roddy Piper
it was just
with a
simply
little Eddie
engaging.
Guerrero in there when he did his shoot thing, and did he do a shoot thing like that in WCW? Everyone was comparing like Eddie
No.
did this. Eddie did a shoot thing one time in WCW.
Pillman did, but not Guerrero.
I don't think Eddie even got a promo in WCW.
Yeah,
except
he
for
did
when he
let him
first
talk a
came.
lot.
I thought people were putting pictures up that Eddie did a promo. I never
I
seen
missed it if
but-
he did.
Yeah.
News to me.
My personal take is I'm gonna listen. Regardless, I'm a wrestling fan. It's storyline. I'm gonna buy into it, and I'm gonna buy into it what they showed me on TV, because at the end of the day, that's
Yeah.
what's being presented.
And the best people in wrestling over the last couple of decades have been, because everybody knows kayfabe is long, long dead.
Mhm.
But this is a little bit of an ember of kayfabe has kind of been rekindled.
Kayfabe's
here.
alive if you buy into what they're putting you on TV.
Right.
That's the wrestling
If-
fan I choose to be.
Right now, the closest you can get to kayfabe is questioning, okay, is that real or is that part of the
Yeah,
show?
yeah.
Mhm.
Like that's the closest you can get to it.
And he definitely got that. He got
Yeah.
that vibe over the weekend. I mean, how many people do you think actually bought the pay-per-view in sense of trying to see if something blew up there?
Well,
If he
no, a
didn't-
lot
if
of
he
people were
didn't-
saying that if I don't find out as a customer if MJF's going to be there, I don't think it's worth my pay-per-view buy. You're an idiot. You're not just buying that pay-per-view for the MJF Wardlow match.
well, that's why
You're a
kinda,
psycho if that's what you
I
bought
kind
it
of
for.
disagreed with how Tony Khan bloated the show because he didn't want to clash with the basketball game.
Yeah.
That was dumb.
Yeah.
There's no cross. I mean, there's some crossover, but there's not a huge crossover.
Like that show would have been much better if it was an hour and a half shorter.
Yep.
Yeah.
I agree. My personal take on this, and if I'm just speculating, I don't know anything. I'm not claiming to, and I'm probably on a boat on alone in this. But I think this whole thing from a while, I think MJF is very smart. I think he's very dedicated to his character.
Oh,
I think this whole contract and
question.
money and everything that from the beginning, because he's been planting these seeds for a very long time. I think it's been planted for a very long time. Just like in AEW, we've known because it leaked, because that's what people do, and because smart fans can figure out where the path of the title is going to go.
Mhm.
We knew it was going from there to Hangman to Punk to MJF. Everyone knew that was a transition. We've all speculated that's what was going down. What better way to get the Punk and MJF to mean something? And we've been talking about the whole time, like when does MJF become that tweener where he's half face, half heel, but he just MJF to everybody and not just heels, and like, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
And they're slowly planting those seeds. Punk is better as a heel, and that eventually will come. I think by the end of this feud, you're going to be chanting for MJF to beat CM Punk.
You could get a double turn here.
Yeah,
very
I
easily.
think Punk is equal as the
Punk's
face and
great no
heel.
matter what
Yeah,
he does.
yeah.
Yes, but I'm saying I think by the end of the storyline, if they play this cards right, you will be.
It will
people
probably be
sorry.
where they go into it. Where yeah, I mean,
People
they
will
come
be
out
chanting for
after the promo. MJF is Steve Austin, so he's a face
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got the crowd behind him.
Yeah,
so
'cause he-
fuck the establishment. You know,
Yeah.
that's the. There's
They
nothing you
came
can do.
back from break and people were still chanting MJ.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's
I think
he can come
I
out
think
and be
this
like, "You
is-
fans suck." Like, yeah, but he's sticking to the man.
Yeah,
So-
I think he's been planting these seeds for a long time,
If you
and I
think
think
about
this
it,
is
yes.
something that's been worked.
Yeah,
He's
I mean, we say Steve Austin is really Don Quixote. It's the
Yeah.
chaotic babyface.
Yeah, I'm for it. I think it's fun, and I'm excited to see where it goes.
And I would say he has re-signed or whatever extension has been
pretty
reached.
likely, yeah.
If you
Right.
do that promo on TV, people are like, oh, they cut him off. Then if someone's gonna go out there and you didn't like what they're saying, you cut them off immediately.
Spoiler alert! Even when
Immediately.
Punk came out and cross legs sat down on
Yeah.
the stage, that was
Yeah, they know. If you see
they
it on
knew he was
TV,
going out and saying
It's
it.
it's story
If it happens on TV, it's a word.
because the camera
Mhm.
always does this once not, it goes away.
Yeah.
and they cut.
Now there
something
is
else.
bits of truth to good promos, and
Oh,
that's
yeah.
what
totally.
makes them good.
Yeah.
This promo I thought was good because it was bits of, it was the work, it was a work, but yet it was a little bit of that fantasy of this isn't a work because the camera
Yeah, he
blacked
played-
out, they shut off his mic and they went right to
He
commercial.
played it perfectly.
Right.
And this is something that a lot of old school people, Jim Cornette being one of them, have always said, where people have known the deal about wrestling for a long time. It's been in the newspaper for 100 years that wrestling is not on the up and up as far as being a contest between two people trying to best each other in an athletic endeavor.
Yep.
And people have kind of known, but they would always say about certain people, even back to the 1960s and 70s, a lot of it probably is phony, but that Bruno Sammartino, he's real.
Yeah, that Brody, he's
That-
real.
Yeah, that Stan Hansen is real.
Even nowadays, Brock Lesnar, people think,
Yeah.
oh, he's really beating people up.
You would hear it about ECW. Oh,
Yeah.
ECW's real.
Yeah, I remember that was the big
Yeah,
thing.
ECW's
We call that because it's real.
Yeah.
No, it's
No, they're
not.
just dumb enough. They're just dumb enough to take cheese grazer ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I mean it is real. Like they were really
Yeah,
beating the
yeah.
shit out of each other. That
Yeah.
part was real.
Yeah.
But they were like it wasn't an actual athletic competition where they're trying to win the match.
Yeah.
It was
It's
wrestling.
at the end of the
Yeah.
day, it's a blast. Dynamite, I feel this week did a great job of setting up new stories, putting things in place.
'Cause it's
Yeah.
well, it's after pay per view.
Yeah.
So
It's a lot of fun.
Arrow's back.
Yeah,
That's fun.
he had a good promo too. And now
Yeah.
he's out to take God's land. That's pretty cool.
Athena's going to dethrone Jade, at least on the
Oh,
whole
okay.
before.
I only watched the first half and I fell asleep.
Yeah. They're doing the whole like they're putting the Jade 38-0.
Oh, okay,
They're doing-
yeah.
And then Athena's like, I'm taking your shit.
Good. I hope she does.
I hope she does too. And I will say this: I don't, just for people to clarify, I don't hate Jade. I just think I was nervous when they put the title on her because I don't think it does her any service
Well, I mean,
to her
that
career.
match with Anna Jay didn't do anybody any favor.
No.
No.
It was rough. And I think they're both talented. I just think to put a title on her is scary. And
I mean, it's not the end of the world. You can have a bad
it's
title.
no,
Yeah.
absolutely. But I think what's awesome about her, and I will give her fucking
Her
complete credit.
look,
She has a great look. She has a great body. She works out really hard. She does everything she's supposed to.
confidence.
That video that leaked of her and what's it, the redhead,
Red Velvet.
Red Velvet,
Uh-huh.
working out with with Daniel Bryan and William Regal,
Yeah.
and he's going through holds and working things out with her. That is exactly what Jade needs to
Needs.
be doing.
Yeah,
And that's a
she should be doing
smart
that all the time.
fucking move.
So real quick, this was on Twitter. Somebody said, MJF. Well, Marks, if you look at the metrics, I draw the second best quarter-hour ratings on average, and I should be paid commensurate with free agents from Namiro later. I'm going to find God and murder him.
Fine, got him.
But no, I think it's very smart for Jade that, and especially that this is where people say like, well, why the fuck would you sign the Christian Cage? Why would you sign Mark Henry? Why do you sign Taz? Why do you sign these guys, these old legends who they have something to offer, even though they're not world champions, whether they're not on TV winning matches.
Yeah.
They are good people to have backstage.
Well, they didn't sign William Regal to wrestle, you know.
Exactly. I'm saying they are good people to have backstage to help develop young
Mhm.
talent. And when young talent goes to a legend and goes, fuck you, I don't need to learn nothing, you're going to have a hard time.
and then you should be fired.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I think like, so people are like, so just on the other term is MJF saying in the promo, like, why are these? Because I think people will start going in that route of why you're bringing all these ex-WWE guys in, because ex-WWE guys they were taught TV. At the end of the day, you're still putting a TV product on, and you need to learn what the business is. When an ex-WWE guy walks into a PPW and does a seminar and he
Mhm.
teaches these young talents things they never even comprehended before, that's vital to help
you
young
already
talent.
had Jericho though. You had Moxley, you
Yeah.
have Jerry Lynn, you've had people that can do that.
I think
agreed,
that,
but
that
you were bringing
sentence
guys
was
in who
said
can-
just to piss people off.
Yeah, but I'm
Yeah.
saying is I'm just trying to wake the marks up to let them know that bringing these guys in, it is good for your locker room, and that's a great example of Daniel Bryan.
But we don't exactly know like how much Mark Henry's doing. Is Mark Henry an agent too? We don't know.
Yeah.
I'm
But
sure
yeah,
he's not just
the
collecting a
older
check.
wrestlers do make good agents and stuff.
Yeah.
And coaches.
Yeah, I think it's very helpful.
I mean, they have a great one right now. Pat Buck is he just recently left WWE. He's with AEW now. He trained MJF.
Yeah.
He's one of
Athena
the
and
co-founders of Creative Pro.
Athena and Stoke E cards coming tomorrow to Upper Deck. I don't know who Stoke E is.
Stokely
Stokely
Hathaway.
Hathaway, the new manager.
Oh, Stokey. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
E-cards, like virtual trading cards.
Oh, virtual trading
Yeah.
cards.
Yeah, e-cards.
I don't know.
He was Malcolm Bivens in there.
I'm
We
not
didn't
sure
see
what.
that.
He's,
I'm still
he's-
learning.
he's the
I'm just got into
manager now.
figures, so I don't know what E cards are.
Yeah.
I know trading cards. are.
Stoke is Stokely Hathaway.
Didn't you get me a Athena Ember Moon card?
Yeah.
Yeah, you got me an Ember Moon card.
Yeah,
You know who-
physical card.
Do
Yeah.
you know who once wrestled with Stokely Hathaway Jr.?
No.
Tony Deppen.
Really?
During IWTV's The Masked Wrestler, everybody had gimmick names
Yeah.
like Hokkaido and things like that, Genki. And Tony Deppen was Stokely Hathaway Jr.
That's funny.
We are at the close to the 30-minute mark.
Real quick, rounding out the news, they did also reveal the first match for Forbidden Door, which is in like 3 weeks,
Yeah.
June 26th.
Soon.
yeah.
So it's going to be for the AW title, CM Punk making his first defense against the Ace, the guy who kind of saved Japanese wrestling.
This is Japanese John Cena.
Yeah, but better.
If John Cena was
Better.
a much better
I'm
wrestler.
just saying the face of the company.
Yeah, John.
Yes.
But I mean, also a little older now. And
Yeah.
he's no longer the guy, but he's still yeah.
Yeah.
But it's Hiroshi Tanahashi. He's the
Mhm.
guy who New Japan would be dead without him. And he's the guy who made Okada. He's the guy who made a lot of these guys.
Yeah. I think it's a good match.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Oh,
it'll be
it'll be
weird.
great.
Yeah. But basically all the big names.
I was hoping for
all the matches will be
I was hoping for the Okada, the Rain guy, right?
Yeah, Raymond.
Like I thought it'd be cool if he was like, "Who is it?" and then the rain starts coming.
Well,
down.
I mean, here's the thing with that. If you do Okada Punk, who loses?
Yeah.
Neither company's going to want their champion to lose to the other company's champion.
So, we want to do a little fan speculation. Let's book this card a little bit.
Well, there already is kind of a leak that Okada's going to wrestle Hangman.
Yeah, that's what they said about that. And then
Great O'Khan and Jeff Cobb against FTR, most likely.
yeah, because they set that up when they came out to attack him on Dynamite last week.
Mhm.
And then
Probably Bryan Danielson and Zack Sabre Jr. would be
the
logically.
technical match. And then they think who has the junior heavyweight title? The El Desperado has it, but they think he's gonna lose it to Hiromu Takahashi or somebody else is in it.
Hiromu.
And Hiromu probably will win it and then defend it maybe against Darby Allin or something like that.
yeah.
Hiromu was.
Yeah, he's very good. He's the guy that landed on his neck from the suplex. I don't know if
Yeah,
you've seen that.
oh,
And he was out for a whole year.
Oh yeah, I did see that.
Yeah, he's a real colorful.
turnbuckle.
He come out with the little cat.
The turnbuckle bomb, the spot where he like got
Daryl.
suplexed into the super.
No,
Yes.
no, yeah, no, he got dropped right on his head, didn't he?
No,
Yeah.
remember it was that above, like it's like a reverse.
But he
full
got
Nelson,
thrown
and
into
you throw above like Dragon
he
Lee
got
did it.
thrown into the turnbuckle and landed on his neck, right?
No, you're thinking of. You're thinking of.
That's how what's his name got paralyzed.
No,
Isn't it?
yeah, well,
Otani.
Otani. That's what you're thinking
Yeah.
of. You're thinking of Otani.
Yeah, no, he
That's
took
what I'm
like
thinking
a
of Otani.
weird suplex and landed right in his neck, and then he was out for like a whole year.
I love that JR knows a lot of the top guys in New Japan already. That's
Well,
gonna
yeah,
help
from
him commentary.
yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
from when he was the.
Yeah, and he
commentator.
won't say about them playing with Barbie dolls like he does in
Yeah.
every women's match.
Well, I mean, there probably won't be women's matches on
Yeah.
the show because New Japan doesn't do women's wrestling.
Yeah.
Unless they bring in stars.
Yeah, let's get that Stardom crossman. They might.
Yeah,
but I
wonder
don't know.
if they'll reach out to Barnett to do color too.
Yeah.
Josh Barnett is a.
I like how they bring the Ring of Honor guy in to do help with the Ring
Yeah,
of Honor.
Caprice
matches.
Coleman.
Well, I mean, the other guy you could reach out to is Kevin Kelly because Kevin
Yeah.
Kelly is kind of the voice of New Japan.
Yeah, I think that for the show they'll probably do a combination,
Probably like maybe Kevin Kelly, JR, and Excalibur
Yeah.
or something like
and
that.
then obviously the Japanese team will handle the Japanese commentary.
Yeah.
So then, just other news: Jeff Hardy working hurt. Obviously, CM Punk won the AEW title at Double or Nothing. That Wrestling Entertainment Superstar show we're talking about, the Authors of Pain are putting on, has been postponed. Imagine that.
Oh,
The Money Pit show might not happen.
Yeah.
so
I'm gonna mess this up. Is this Sonata?
Sonata.
I want Sonata or versus Kaz or Wheeler.
I want the match I have been asking
Sonata
for.
versus Wheeler would be pretty good.
I want the match I've been begging for forever. It's my dream match. Miro against Tomohiro Ishii.
Yeah.
I could say it happen. I think Miro might be in the G1.
Yeah.
I see that happen.
Very, very likely. Danielson, I think, too.
Yeah, that's I think the top two
So,
in the G1.
Here's another quick thing I want to pose before we move on to the thing. Who do you? All right, so let's kind of fantasy book Punk's title run. Let's put some names out you think are going to be contenders for Punk's title. Not beating Punk.
I don't think
Not
it's gonna have a
beating Punk,
terribly
but-
long run.
Not beating Punk, but who
You
comes
at least
and
think four.
challenges?
I think at least 4 title defenses.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I can see Miro. Maybe they'll do Lance
Eddie
Archer. They
Kingston.
like to do Lance Archer. Eddie,
He's been doing the whole Eddie Kingston's of
but
asshole.
he's a face right now, so you'd have to be heel for that. I mean, maybe.
Yeah.
But I don't really see that one.
He'll probably have like a defense against somebody like a Daniel Garcia.
Yeah. I mean, she'll have a couple Dynamite defenses.
Ricky
I
Starks.
only say
guys.
Kingston because he's been doing that, and everything. I love everything except that asshole Eddie Kingston. Like he's been always.
Yeah, I think Kingston's gonna be wrapped up with
I think
Jericho for a bit.
I think
Yeah.
they want to have a match together, and if
Well, they
Punk,
did.
if I'm saying like on a bigger, I think he's gonna throw Kingston a bone. I think
Do
that
you
would be
think
one
Punk
of the,
and Moxley? Maybe.
no.
No.
No, I don't
They
think
don't-
Mox,
they don't wanna
I think
split.
Mox is too big, and I don't think Mox taking a loss to Punk does anything for anybody.
Okay.
That's just my opinion.
I could see like a Dynamite or Rampage match against Ricky Starks. Punk has said he wants to work
Yeah.
with Ricky Starks.
Mhm. I think Punk's gonna pretty much pick who he wants to defend his title.
That's what
against.
he's.
But
that's
I
what he's
don't-
been doing the whole time.
I don't know if they're gonna throw any. I don't know who because if they might just have him keep it until the next pay per view. The next pay per view is gonna be All Out. That's their big show of the year. That might be where MJF takes it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe it might do right away. You never
Yeah.
know, because he doesn't have to keep it. I mean, it's just cool to get it once. Defends it once or twice. That's enough.
I think
but
at
they
least-
might have it for a
I
year.
think 3, 4 max. I think he'll have at least 3 title defenses.
Well, yeah, the
Most of
Tanahashi
it,
probably maybe a little
And
more.
and AEW is not afraid to put a title match on TV.
No.
No.
Yeah, but they also don't put him on every week either.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. You shouldn't.
I think Hangman had more TV title defenses than
Pay-per-view.
Yeah. But he had ones that made no sense too. Like the top
I-
flight guy, Dante Martin.
I
When he
think
went
I
against
think a
him,
lot
I
of
was
Punk's
like,
title defense are going to make no sense either. I think
I
it's
could
going to be
see
like
maybe-
this week on Dynamite, Punk's defending his title
Maybe-
versus said guy.
Adam Cole or even Kyle O'Reilly. O'Reilly got the win over Darby.
Yeah, I
You
can
could-
see that.
Tyler, that would be a great match too.
Yeah, I
I'm
think
sure
a lot
Punk
of
would be
those
itching to
matches
work
are going to
with
be like this week on Dynamite. Punk defends against said guy. and
Yeah, man, he might do like the fighting champion like Bret Hart used to.
Yeah.
I'm the defender every week.
like you're not
against
going to get a
whoever.
storyline build up. I think you're
yeah,
going to have.
I think he only is contracted for a certain number of matches a year though.
Oh, okay. So maybe he only do so much.
Yeah.
Unless he wants to do
Yeah,
more.
unless he opened up his contract. 'Cause
Yeah.
he does wrestle quite a bit.
And then any other news? 'Cause I have one to end with here. If you,
I think that's all I had.
we talked about it on our last episode. If you didn't watch I don't know how audio wise. I know a lot of people didn't listen to it, but our scorecards, which is fine. We did it like kind of last minute. That's so realistically, if you are into our predictions or anything like that, expect those the day of the show. We're not gonna do them a couple days before and then matches because matches change all the time, and we're gonna do our
especially
scorecards.
WWE.
So if you really want to play the scorecard game, we are probably going to do those matches, those scorecard predictions the day of the show. So if that's something we want to
That's
kind of
ProWrestlingScorecards.com.
we want to condition our audience to be expecting that as a bonus episode before the card closes, usually a couple hours
It's kind of tough
before.
for Hell in a Cell because I don't really know much about.
Yeah,
Oh,
and-
we're gonna bullshit our way through
And
it
what they do a lot of times is they don't close it
until
because
after like SmackDown.
Yeah, so you really only have like a day.
Yeah, even if I have to do it by myself, I'm going to go live and you can join in, or we can have you remote in, and we'll figure it out. But just to kind of get the audience on board, be prepared for those scorecard things. But anyway, we
Oh,
did announce.
I did want to say Brian Pillman's mom passed away. Brian Pillman
Really?
Jr. So meth.
Oh, I didn't
when
hear that.
MJF was saying meth had Melanie a
Yeah,
couple months back.
meth
She
had
has passed now.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow, I didn't see that.
That was just today.
Last bit of news is local business owner, professional wrestler extraordinaire, just came back from his European tour. Will be taking on John Moxley at a future GCW show. Tony Deppen versus John Moxley for the GCW World Title.
Yeah, in the Melrose Ballroom in Queens.
Yeah, so very excited for him. Very pumped. I think that's a great opportunity, and
No.
he's saying that maybe he brings the GC title home.
Maybe.
Yeah, man.
I'm rooting for him. Cardona said, I can't believe I'm saying this, but I'm rooting for Tony Deppen in a tweet.
So here's news from today too. Liv Morgan will make her feature film debut in The Kill Room.
Oh, I thought you were.
What the hell's the Kill Room? Yeah, that's not the movie a lot of people want to see Liv Morgan in. Not the type of movie.
It is being described as a darkly comic thriller. She'll play an art purist who bemoans the vapidness of art dealers.
Oh, well, who knows how her acting is?
Also starring Uma Thurman, Samuel L. Jackson,
well, there we go.
Joe Manganiello, Maya Hawke, and a bunch of other people.
Oh, it has a pretty good cast there already. Then
Yeah.
Look at Liv Morgan.
Fox said Brett will have a few Brett versus Barbarian match. Punk will have a few Brett versus Barbarian
Yeah, well,
matches
you
for
just beat
sure.
a couple, people just to get some title defenses.
All righty. Well, let's get into our main topic tonight. It's going to be last matches. Brian, take it away.
So we're gonna do, like I said earlier, we're gonna do two types of last matches. We're gonna do like actual retirements where that was literally their last match that we know of. Certain people, we're not gonna just cover people who have passed. And theoretically, Hulk Hogan could wrestle again. I don't think he will.
Yeah, he wants to. He'll tell you he will.
Yeah, if the price is right, he will. I guess.
Yeah. Well, he wanted to wrestle Flair, or him and somebody versus somebody in Flair.
But I guess they offered him this match with Flair now, and he said no.
Oh, really? Wow.
So
that was all
Because
BS
Flair ain't
then.
losing, and neither is Hogan.
Oh, Flair might lose. You go out, count the lights. So they would call these retirements when you retire and then you come back. It's called a Terry Funk retirement,
Mm-hmm.
and it's called it for a reason. So let's start with Terry Funk. His first official retirement.
Well, it's like 78.
Well, no, it was August 31st, 1983.
Ugh.
I was
So
6 weeks old the first time.
So
Terry
he
Funk
retired before I was born?
Yeah.
And then I watched him when I was a teenager?
Yes.
He was
Wow.
gonna retire and just give it up, never wrestle again.
And if you ever see the old thing where it was a match for All Japan Wrestling, it was him and his brother Dory against Stan Hansen and Terry Gorey. And it's where he does that big thing at the end where he's like, forever, forever. He's like talking about Japan's #1 and thanking the crowd. And that was him going back to the Double Cross Ranch to live a gentleman cattleman's life.
Nope.
Until
6 months.
no, it was over a year.
Oh, wow.
It was over a year. He came back in October of 1984 for a match against the Funks again against the Road Warriors.
Ooh.
And then he went back to Japan shortly after that for a little tour. And then by I think 85, early 86, he was doing his run with WWF.
Yeah.
Had a quick run with Hogan, and then they brought in Dory as Hoss Funk,
Hospital.
and they brought in Jesse Barr as Jimmy Jack Funk, the Funk who was not really a Funk.
Yep.
Before the other Funk that
Before
wasn't
Flash
really
Funk?
Flash
Yeah.
Funk, yeah.
But he wasn't really a Funk?
No,
Flash Funk wasn't?
neither was Jimmy Jack. Jimmy Jack Funk was Sandy Barr, who I think was it his brother or uncle or nephew was Art Barr?
No, yeah.
I know they were related. Art Barr was Eddie Guerrero's tag team partner in Mexico.
The juice.
And then, so after that, Funk wrestles here and there. And in 1989, and apparently the rumor is that he didn't want this billed as his retirement match, but then they kind of billed it as his last match, especially after the fact. The very infamous, very amazing.
Mm-hmm.
If you have never seen this match, go out of your way to fire up the Peacock and to go to, I believe it was Clash of the Champions 9, the New York Knockout. And it is an I Quit match between Ric Flair and Terry Funk that you should go out of your way to watch.
Mm-hmm. The way they set that up was good too when Terry Funk was doing commentary.
Yeah, so yeah, Terry Funk's the commentator, and Ric Flair is chasing the NWA title, which is held by Ricky Steamboat. And they're always pushing their top 10, kind of like AEW is now. We have a top 10, and that's how we're going to determine the #1 challenger. So Ric Flair beats Ricky Steamboat at Wrestle War at Music City Showdown. And they had judges. And it was like Pat O'Connor, I forget the other judge, and one of the judges was Terry Funk, because they were saying, if this match goes to a time limit draw, it's going to go to the judges, and we're going to have a winner. Somebody will win this match. And Flair gets the pin. They don't really go to the judges. They never go to the judges in these matches. It never works out that way. And so after the match, Terry Funk is like, I'm just an old fool, but I would love a title shot. I know.
I sure would like, if you were to wrestle someone, I sure would like a title shot.
Ryan Malka, didn't Terry also announce Flash as his cousin in a tag team match?
He may have.
Yeah, I think so.
He may have. And so after Ric Flair's like, no, Terry, we got a top 10. You work your way up the ladder a little bit. He's like, I understand, Rick, and I get it. And then he just goes ballistic and just beats the hell out of Ric Flair and gives him a pile driver on a table.
Yeah.
And what year is
And
this now?
1989.
Yeah, that was unheard of, a pile driver. And he goes through the table, kind of. Not like nowadays.
Well, he
but
always took risky
Well,
bumps.
it was safe.
yeah.
Terry Funk is Terry Funk. I don't think he ever hurt anybody.
Yeah,
pile driver.
I'd let him pile drive through the table. But I mean, it did looks for like
Yeah.
back then. It's like, whoa.
Yeah, I don't think the table broke. I think it just tipped over.
I think it didn't like break like a little, like he
It
go
may have-
through.
may
It
have
didn't go
stacked a little
through, but he went
Yeah.
like halfway through
Yeah.
or something.
But again, if you want to see a match that is incredible, fire up Peacock, Wrestle War 89, Music City Showdown, Ric Flair, Ricky Steamboat. An amazing match.
Mm-hmm.
So that leads to Terry Funk against Ric Flair. Ric Flair's in the hospital. They want him to surrender his title. Turns Ric Flair babyface. One of the best promos ever, and Terry Funk is up there in contention for the best promo guy ever. And there's this whole thing in on the Saturday show where the crowd is chanting, "We want Flair, we want Flair," and Funk starts chanting, he's like, "We want Flair," and eventually goes, "I want Flair, I want Flair." It's amazing. So just anything that Ric Flair and Terry Funk did together or separately in 1989, seek it out.
Yeah.
Seek it out. So that was his last official retirement for a while. He had his whole ECW run. He had his run with Lawler in USWA. But then in 1997, he does the Amarillo Farewell. And if you ever seen the movie Beyond the Mat, this is the match that where they had Dennis Stamp, the late Dennis Stamp, where he's bouncing up and down on a trampoline in a Speedo, lifting little 2.5 pound weights, because you never know when you're going to get a call. You never. Dennis Stamp is like in his mid 50s at this point, and he's an exterminator. But hey, Vince might call. Vince might call tomorrow. So I'm going to, and it's funny because this is the first I ever saw Dennis Stamp. And then they were showing AWA on like ESPN Classic after, and Dennis Stamp was one of their enhancement guys. And he was good.
Really? Wow.
Like, well, all those guys.
Yeah.
They could, the technical stuff they were great at. But that was like Dennis Stamp was infamously, "I'm not coming to the show, Terry. I'm not booked.
Yeah.
I'm not booked. I'm not coming to the show unless I'm booked." And so Terry let him be the referee for what was supposed to be his farewell match against Bret Hart, who was at the point the reigning WWF champion.
Mm-hmm.
And he beats Terry in Amarillo. But he's like, "Well, that was just my last match in Amarillo." Because 11 days later, he's in Japan wrestling for FMW.
Yeah, we didn't read the fine print on that one, I guess.
And then the next one comes in 1999 in Mississauga, Ontario, Canada. One last dance for the Apocalypse Wrestling Federation. Terry Funk against Sabu.
Wow. What year is this?
1999.
And we're not even still close to his last match.
No. He returned to FMW 5 months later, and then not too long after that, Terry Funk becomes a regular in WCW.
Yeah.
Like the end of WCW, the last 3 or 4 months, Terry Funk was like a regular.
He's hardcore champion. Yeah.
Hardcore champion. And then the next official retirement match would be in 2005, January 29, 2005. America's Most Wanted, Chris Harris and James Firm, a great tag team.
They were good, and then Chris Harris just did nothing.
Well, he became Braden Walker.
Yeah. Knock, knock.
Show sounds great tonight. Can't wait to see you everyone soon. Little Sheiky baby.
Thank you.
Yeah. And then Terry is the Motley Crew of wrestling. Yeah. The reason why we to kind of break it to you is the reason why we're calling this the last match tonight is tonight's our last podcast.
Oh, okay.
Until next week.
Oh.
We're gonna do one more after that. Yeah. It actually kind of like is scary that I said that because 2 shows did just end on our network. Everyone's like, "Wait, what?"
You never know.
Yeah,
surprise.
So this is our last match, our last podcast.
Yeah.
Until possibly next week. The other ones are actually.
I guess every match is your last match until your next.
Yeah.
You haven't seen us since the last time. And so the Funks. So it's Dory's wrestled in this one too in 2005. And Dory's older than Terry.
Yeah.
So America's Most Wanted beat the Funks by DQ. But that June, Terry comes back for Hardcore Homecoming.
Oh, I remember.
Because this is when the ECW revival starts. So he gets booked for Hardcore Homecoming. The next year, he's actually on the ECW One Night Stand from 2006. It's him and Tommy Dreamer against Edge and Mick Foley. And
you call Jake Roberts? I hate Jake Roberts.
When did he come back as? Unless I'm jumping the gun here.
Chainsaw Charlie,
Chainsaw
like
Charlie was in between these. 97, yeah.
Yeah.
So that was,
him and Mick had like the huge death match, and
well,
that was before. That was
the,
about like 93,
94,
94?
95.
Yeah.
93, Mick was still in WCW.
Okay, yeah.
94, maybe late 93, because that's when Mick left. Yeah, that would have been.
So he retired 2 times before he won the ECW world title.
Yeah.
So the next retirement becomes in 2006, September 16th, in Oklahoma at an indie called IZW. I didn't even look at what it stood for. He defeated Jerry Lawler. And that was his last match for 4 years. At this point, when he comes back, he's coming back sparingly. He's not like on the road.
Yeah.
So this is where it becomes a little bit in between each one.
Even before that, the last time he was wrestling regularly,
was him and Jerry booked as a last match, or was it just
booked as Funk's last match? Yeah.
Okay, so
all these except for the WCW one was more the company saying it. He put out that this is my last
At
one.
what point does a company say like to themselves, "Well, Terry's
Never,
Brian Wolf here.
Because it sells tickets
all the time." It was literally at this point called a Terry Funk retirement. Like it was a joke. Like, oh yeah, that's your last match, Terry.
Yeah.
It became a joke when the one in Amarillo against Bret Hart was when it became a running gag. Like, oh yeah, Terry's gonna retire.
Yeah.
But it didn't matter because Terry Funk is maybe the most respected living professional wrestler. So
Yeah.
nobody really cares.
Yeah.
Nobody cared. Okay, yeah, it's Terry. Like,
Yeah.
let Terry.
He
do what
wants
he's
to
gonna
wrestle
do.
again. Let him wrestle.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like I said, if Avery came back, no one's gonna care.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, thank you for coming back. We're just
Like,
appreciative of it.
Am I wrong? Terry Funk may be the most respected living professional wrestler.
Probably. I mean, I don't know who. Maybe Steamboat.
Yeah.
Mick?
Eh,
You never
I mean,
really
a lot
ever
of
hear
people
people
like
say
Mick,
anything
but
bad about
Flair used
Mick.
to say bad things
but
about
Terry Funk is Mick's mentor too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Mick's
Yeah.
mentor.
Like if you ask Mick Foley who the most respected wrestler in the world is, it's Terry Funk.
John Moxley'd probably say about the same thing too.
And even Eddie Kingston, they were talking about oh, Brett's the GOAT and Sean's the GOAT, like every and then Eddie Kingston's like, well, the correct answer is Terry Funk, but okay.
Well, he can't I don't know if he cannot physically wrestle anymore, but his family I know try and
I would think
stop
Terry
him.
Funk?
Yes.
No, his health is supposedly
He's
not-
not-
bad.
Yeah,
There
there was
talk-
tweets not too long ago. I think
he's in assisted living now.
Yeah.
And
I think that people were writing him off a couple months ago.
couple
and,
years back, I know
Tommy
they were,
Dreamer was like, no, it's not as
yeah,
bad.
Mick and yeah,
his
Dreamer said it's not
daughters
as
were
bad.
like begging him not to
Yeah.
go, and he wanted to go.
Well, yeah. And his wife passed away a few years ago, and that's always
And
gonna
his
take a toll.
horse was sick.
It's kind of that. I know it's a trope in the Rocky movies, but when all you know is fucking getting your head fucking busted, and
Yeah.
it's hard.
I think it's safe to say we have seen Terry Funk.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm saying though, like in the back of his head, even though he's old, he's probably like, man, if I can go one more time, like
I think
Yeah.
every wrestler thinks they have one more.
absolutely,
Yeah.
like
They also say he may be dealing with like
dementia.
Dementia.
some dementia
Because he's,
type issues.
he's
Yeah.
the late 80s now, right? Early
Yeah.
90s, somewhere around there.
No,
Yeah.
Terry Funk is probably in the 70s.
Oh, is he? I'm trying to think. Like, I can't.
Terry Funk is
74.
might be a little older than that. I think he's older than Rick. 77.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we've seen
The last.
Yeah.
The
I know,
last.
yeah.
the last of Terry Funk.
Yeah.
In the ring.
In the ring, yes, please. Wait.
Yeah. No, hopefully
That's not.
he has a lot of
That's
happy
not,
healthy
that's not ringing
yeah.
those bells yet.
but let's hope he has a lot of happy healthy years left with his daughters and his family
Yes.
and all that. Because I think he has like 4 daughters.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so after the
Dude,
match
that,
there
real quick though, that documentary where he's like, where they're like they'll be on the mat
Mhm.
and he's like trying to get out of bed and he's like, I fucking hate my life.
Yeah.
that was 1998.
I know, but he
Or
was
no,
like,
97. I'm
he
sorry. That was
struggled to walk
1997.
then. And I was like, oh, this guy. Like if you watch a snapshot of that documentary, you're like, this is it.
Yeah.
And then you're
That
like,
was-
no.
No?
He went on the world title after that.
Yeah.
Well, no, yeah, that was around the time he did win the world title, and then he and then
But
he did Chainsaw Charlie after that. He
Yeah.
did the WCW stuff after that.
But it's like you said, when it's all he knows, just
Mhm.
like in Rocky, it's all he knows. That's
Right, I
how
mean,
he goes and makes money, or that's how he
I think
thinks.
he was okay financially.
Yeah,
But
maybe.
He's just coming back
But
for.
He loved it.
He
Yeah.
loved it. Like that's all he knew, and he liked doing it. So
And so after that Lawler match, his next match is that was 2006. Remember, his next match is in 2010 at Wrestle Kingdom at the
Ooh.
Tokyo Dome. It's
2010.
a lot of
Mhm.
these people are retired now. It's Manabu Nakanishi who
Okay,
recently
it's,
retired.
yeah, like 3 years ago.
Masahiro Chono retired, I
Mhm.
believe. Ricky Choshu was also, I believe, retired. He's because Ricky Choshu is Hase is the one that's like a big
Yeah.
politician now. He's like in the cabinet in Japan. And Terry Funk, they teamed up to beat Abdul the Butcher.
Who has a shit ton of merchandise now in pro wrestling.
Really?
Case.
Oh wow.
Like they have a whole, like they just really re-released
yeah.
a shit ton of Abdul the Butcher shirts.
Well, his restaurant closed, so he's
Yeah.
gonna make money else.
Yeah.
He had a restaurant in Georgia. It was Abdul the Butcher's
I will
house.
say those shirts aren't bad.
I didn't see him.
They
I
look
can't-
pretty
I
dope.
can't say.
what did he sell? Like barbecue or
That's
what?
good. It's good.
It's Abdul the Butcher's house of ribs and Chinese food.
Mhm.
No,
And if you-
Chinese food too.
Ribs and Chinese food.
Do you get to keep your
We
fork?
Like
Maybe.
What if that's the gimmick? Keep your fork.
Just
if you stab somebody with it.
Forks
Yeah.
only, no chopsticks. Even though there's Chinese
Yeah.
food there.
and in the dining room, there's a big velvet painting of Abdul
Yeah.
the Butcher.
That's awesome. I would have loved to eat there.
It would've been
It's
great.
going to be Terry at R&R versus Flair and FTR in July. I'm convinced.
How about that? Yeah.
Oh, maybe.
that?
Hold that thought, Ryan Box. Hold that thought. So the next match, the next retirement match, I should say, was in October of 2010 at AWE Night of Legends, and that was Tommy Dreamer defeating Terry Funk. And that was his last match for about 3 years, and then he came back for some shows with All Japan, House of Hardcore, one-offs,
Yeah.
nothing regular. And then shortly after Lance Russell passed, and Lance Russell is in the discussion with Jim Ross and Gordon Solie as the greatest announcer of all time, the greatest commentator of all time. He was the voice of Memphis wrestling. And when he passed, they did a tribute to Lance Russell in 2015. And Lawler defeated Terry Funk by DQ for that one. And that was the last match he billed as his retirement match, was in 2015. But he did have matches after that. His actual final match was in Spartanburg, South Carolina for Big Time Wrestling on September 23rd, 2017. It was a 6-man tag. This is very fitting. This is why I said hold that thought, because we're talking about like Ric Flair's final match is going to be Flair and FTR against the Rock and Rolls and somebody. So the main of Terry Funk's final match, as it stands, so maybe he'll come back, maybe won't, was the Rock and Roll Express and Terry Funk defeating Brian Christopher, Doug Gilbert, and Jerry Lawler.
How about that? Doug Gilbert's still wrestling at that point.
Yeah.
Wow.
And unfortunately, Brian Christopher
passed
no longer
away,
with us. Yeah. And so that most likely, I believe.
I don't think Terry Funk will ever wrestle again.
And the reason we're bringing this up is Ric Flair, because obviously he had the big build retirement match of Shawn Michaels match, WrestleMania 24, but then he came back and wrestled Hogan in Australia. He did a bunch of stuff in TNA. As it stands now, his actual last match, and it's kind of fitting. It's kind of a bummer unless this guy's going to be the Rock and Roll's tag team partner's last match right now is against Sting.
Yeah.
Sting beat Flair in an Impact show on September 12th, 2011. And then there was a rumor that Ricky Steamboat might be the partner. Ricky's like, no.
Yeah, I'm too old. And his last match was the Jericho one.
It was not.
Oh, wasn't it?
No, he wrestled in ROH.
No, that was way before. I don't think he ever wrestled there.
He did not wrestle in Ring of Honor. He was like a goodwill ambassador. And in TNA, he was like an authority figure. He was like a commissioner for a little bit. That. Well, they didn't have like an actual commissioner, but they would have people like, I represent the NWA. He was one of them, and Bob Armstrong was the big one.
Vox said that had been a fun match.
Oh yeah, totally.
Yeah.
But the Ricky Steamboat's actual last match was on
the Sun.
Yes. Let me double check this. I want to make sure I have.
It's a shame his son didn't take off. I don't think he had the passion for it.
And he had some injury problems. Yeah. Too, yeah. But there was an FCW show. FCW was kind of NXT before NXT. It was a development show before they just rebranded it as NXT.
Florida Championship.
Yes.
And it was Ricky Steamboat and Richie Steamboat, who is Ricky's son, against the Dude Buster, Kalen Croft, who didn't really do a whole lot after.
And this guy did.
Trent Beretta.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. In fact, they because you had them and you had Crime Time, and they fired Kalen Croft and they fired Shad Gaspard. And very briefly, they had JTG and Trent Beretta team as the Crime Busters.
Yeah.
Just a great tag team name.
Well, now, and then we just seen Kit Raff team with him, and they're the Goon Busters.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So Ricky Steamboat's last match was with his son. One of Dusty Rhodes' last matches was with Cody at OVW, when Cody was in OVW, and that was still developmental territory. And that came against Idol Stevens, who is Aaron Stevens, Damian Sandow, who himself is saying he's having his last match up in an upcoming NWA show against Trevor Murdoch. And it was him and Casey James, who was his tag partner for a while. They were very, very briefly on SmackDown with Michelle McCool as their manager. She was like a teacher. Michelle McCool's giving her, she was a teacher. She still had a very deep Southern accent. They actually sent her to speech therapy to lose her accent. And
looking at you, Camille.
Yeah. And so they were like the teacher's pets or something, and it didn't last very long. But
so you did post, unless I'm jumping ahead here, you did post on the website about AJ Styles being a part of someone's last match.
Yeah. These are in no particular order, so we can kind of jump around here. But just because we were talking about Dusty, his actual last match was at the 2007 Great American Bash. He lost a bull rope match to Randy Orton when Randy was kind of at the height of his Legend Killer gimmick. I think Randy might have even been feuding with Cody at that point.
Who's that?
Or is when Cody? I think maybe when Cody joined Legacy.
Dusty.
Yeah. Dustin's still active.
Yeah.
We teased on the website that everybody knows that as it stands, because he could come back, the Undertaker's last match right now is the Boneyard match with AJ Styles. But AJ Styles is also involved in the last match of Macho Man Randy Savage.
Yeah, I couldn't get Sean because they told me I was too old, but I had AJ Styles.
Well, Sean was somewhere else.
Yeah. So if you go back far enough, Randy Savage lost a retirement match to the Ultimate Warrior in 1991.
Yeah. Never came back. Never.
Well, we talked about when we did WrestleMania 10, that was like his last pay-per-view match in WWF, and he did a few house show matches after that. And then he had a great run in WCW.
Yeah.
From like 94 to 2000, basically. He was, or 2001 even, he was a pretty regular two-time WCW champion. And after WCW closed, he really didn't wrestle much. He did the the rap album, Be a
Yeah.
Man.
He wrestled Spider-Man.
He
Yeah,
did.
Bonesaw is ready.
He was. And his actual final match.
His retirement match was Tobey Maguire.
Yes.
Not quite. Not quite. His final match was for TNA. This is when TNA first went to monthly pay-per-views. They went off of the weekly pay-per-view model and started doing monthly pay-per-views. Weekly pay-per-view.
Yeah, but they were like
$10.
Yeah.
They're like, instead of buying one
That's it.
pay-per-view for a 3-hour pay-per-view for like $30, you can buy 4 pay-per-views a month. So you're getting 8 hours or 2 hours long.
Nope.
But
Don't like that.
it didn't work well.
yeah, it didn't work. There was nothing to build up to buy.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
and for the first year or two, they didn't have TV.
Yeah,
And they were trying desperately to get TV, and they wound up buying time on Fox Sports Net.
Now you tell me, hey, pay $10 for a subscription a month, and you'll get a like. a
Well,
bunch-
this was like 2002. Like Netflix was
didn't exist.
yeah.
It did, but you would just rent. I believe it did, but you
It
would just
was-
rent.
it was
DVDs
in
Was
in the
DVD.
mail.
Was they
format.
mail in
They
in 2002?
What
yes,
year?
it was in the mail.
2002.
I don't. Maybe
Was it?
if they were just coming out,
Are you
they
looking
might
that
not have been out
We
yet
just did a whole episode. I think
because YouTube
Netflix-
was not around.
I think Netflix started their streaming in
2005?
2000
Well, no.
it was after 2005.
Well, that's
Yeah.
streaming, but they used to mail.
Yeah. Oh, they were
The-
mailing.
The
stuff,
first
yeah.
Netflix DVD was shipped in 1998,
Wow.
Yeah, they started
How about
earlier than
that?
you thought. Yeah.
and it was Beetlejuice.
Oh wow. I wonder where they started. Where did they start Netflix?
Where I
Like,
think they,
what are they based out of?
What do you mean, the streaming or the
No,
the actual
DVD
hard
shipping. Yeah,
copy?
there was
Um,
also GameFly. Remember that? It was the video
Oh,
game.
yeah.
Gamefly is still around. Yeah,
Wow.
I think they actually do movies now too. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I think they probably get out of like their garage or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how a lot of those places start. It's like there's this whole thing. It's like Apple. There's like there was a picture of the garage. Like Apple started here, Microsoft started here, Netflix started here, something else started here. What's keeping you from doing it? Like, I don't have a garage.
Yeah. No.
Yeah, I can remember my old boss. He would still, back in 2019, he was still sending the DVDs in. Like he
I
didn't,
remember,
He didn't,
yeah, my
he didn't
friend
have
did
any
that.
streaming.
Do you
I was
remember like when
Jesus.
they first were, because it used to be the streaming and the DVD got it all for like one price, and they were like, no, you're gonna pay this much for the
Yep.
streaming and this much for the DVD, and people like revolted and canceled their Netflix thing.
Yeah.
They're like, okay, well the streaming thing is called Netflix, and for like 2 minutes we're gonna call the DVD by mail thing Quickster, and they were like, that's the dumbest thing I've ever
Yeah.
heard. So they stopped. They just called it, like Netflix by mail.
And Blockbuster was offered to buy Netflix.
Yeah, they
said-
turned it down.
They said, "Fuck that."
Yeah.
There's a podcast like called Business Wars. And they did a whole series.
Yeah.
On
I think they
Blockbuster
also said
versus
Blu-ray is not going to work.
Yeah.
And one of them did. Maybe it was Hollywood Video or something. Like, yeah, we're not. That's a fad.
I loved Hollywood Video.
20 years later, Blu-ray's still around.
Very little. I think there's very little of any hard copy around, like movies around. I don't know.
So AJ and Macho Man.
Stream.
Yeah, the actual match
okay.
was it was AJ Styles, Macho Man Randy Savage, and Jeff Hardy in a 6-man tag. Macho didn't do a whole lot.
Yeah.
I don't even think he did the flying elbow. I think his flying elbow days are beyond him.
Yeah.
Against the Kings of Wrestling, not Claudio and Chris Hero, the TNA Kings of Wrestling, who actually came first, which was Jeff Jarrett, Kevin Nash, and Scott Hall. It was instead of the NWO, it was the
Yeah.
KO.
Remember they were the band too? Well,
That-
it
yeah,
was before Jeff Jarrett.
Yeah, we're getting the band back
Yeah,
together.
the
yeah.
band. Oh, that's
So yeah, that AJ Styles was involved in both Randy Savage's last match and for now Undertaker's last
Yeah.
match.
Yeah, for now.
And Randy Savage also obviously synonymous with Hulk Hogan. So Hulk Hogan had the farewell match. The WWE wouldn't call them retirement matches; would call them farewell matches. And usually, if somebody's gone away for a little bit to make a movie, or like Roddy Piper, he had his farewell match with Adrian Adonis at WrestleMania 3, and he was gone for like 2 years. He came back at WrestleMania 5 because he was going to make. I think They Live had just come out,
Yeah.
and he was going to make like Hell Comes to Frogtown, and
Hell Comes to
Mhm.
Frogtown is fucking awesome.
I've never seen it.
And
I'd
it's
like to.
so cheesy but good.
And-
And it was Lizard People before Lizard People were talked about.
Yeah.
and Body Slam.
Oh yeah, but
Body Slam.
the
There is some thing there. I have Body Slam on Blu-ray, and
I still have to see it. You have to bring it over one day.
but I will have a Body Slam watch party anytime anybody
Yeah.
wants to.
Let's do it.
The only thing I would say about Body Slam is there are some things that have not aged well.
Most things don't.
There is a
No.
certain word that gets used a few times, and it's actually on a sign
oh wow,
that should never be used.
Yeah. that happened a lot in indie
Hey,
wrestling.
F
not-
or N.
F.
Sometimes
Oh.
both.
Yeah.
No, they didn't use that.
Yeah,
It-
but not in that movie.
yeah.
I mean, but in
Yeah.
indie wrestling.
Yeah.
When I saw
When you
it.
think of words you can't say, N's always been there.
yeah,
Yeah.
F it was used most of our high school. F and R were used most
Yeah.
of our high school lives, and then as adults we're like, can't use those no more. Like, all right, got to relearn our vocabulary.
And one that's considered kind of incorrect for little people or dwarves.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Because one of the main characters is a little person, a dwarf, Billy Barty, a legendary actor.
Body Slam was great. Let's do a watch along. There you
Yeah,
go.
I have Body Slam on Blu-ray.
You know what we should do? Actually, no, I scratched that idea. I was gonna say we should do it before like one of the nights before Outbreak pay-per-view. We should like put a curtain up and
Projector at the Hamburg Field
and project it at the Hamburg Field.
I also have, if you want to do a double feature of bad wrestling movies, I have Body Slam and No Holds Barred.
No hope, yeah.
Yeah. But no, Body Slam was Dirk Benedict, who was face from A Team. And he plays this record producer, this cheesy record producer, M. Harry Smilak. And he's like just cheating everybody out of money. And he's like, I'll get you next week. He's behind on everything. He's like, his car's getting repossessed left and right. That's actually a subplot because I guess he had borrowed money from a Korean savings and loan. And then like the savings and loan guy tried to sue him. And then Harry won the judgment. So now this guy is sending two like Samoan thugs to like break all of Harry's cars, and it's Alpha and Sika.
Well, and also if you want to hang out this weekend, obviously I don't think any of us will be able to make it because I have a lot of things going on this weekend. But if you want to watch wrestling movies and see wrestling show, go up to the Mahontongo. Oh, what's it? The
Mahoning
Mahoning. I don't know why I said Mahontongo. Mahoning Drive-In. They're doing a 2-night wrestling show and wrestling movie.
Yeah, the LVAC.
The LVAC. So go support those guys and go hang out. I wish I could be there. Unfortunately, I have a lot of things going on this week.
I think they did No Holds Barred last year.
Yeah, I think they did. Yeah.
Yeah. So there's wrestling movies or wrestlers who are in movies that will be on.
Usually that's the gimmick.
And there'll be 2 wrestling shows that time. So
Yeah,
go hang out.
Yeah, I believe Friday it's The Wrestler, the Mickey Rourke one, and then a mystery movie, which I'm still saying is going to be The Wrestler,
Yeah.
the Vern Gagne Ed Asner one from the 70s.
And the other one's the Scorpion King.
Yeah, the second night, Saturday night's
Okay.
going to be The Scorpion King and The Running Man.
Oh,
with Jesse
okay.
Ventura.
Yeah.
And so back to last matches. Obviously, Shawn Michaels is a big one. Shawn Michaels had the match with
Taker.
Undertaker, Streak versus Career.
And then also The Undertaker.
Yeah.
And Kane. Yeah.
His actual last match was The Undertaker and Kane against DX, Triple H, and
So weird watching bald Shawn Michaels.
I never watched that match, and I never will watch that match.
I
It
watched
didn't happen in my
was,
health.
Triple H tore his bicep that
Yeah,
match.
it wasn't good. I know that.
yeah, the best guy in the match was Shawn.
Yeah.
Yeah. Shocker.
Yeah, of course he was.
It's fantastic.
But even after not wrestling forever, he was still the best guy. I mean, it wasn't Shawn from when he was Shawn.
Yeah. It's the GOAT.
But as far as Triple H, his last match was actually in Japan. It was a tag match in Tokyo. It was
Hey, who's this?
Triple H.
Is it in Japan?
I thought it was Orton and Triple H at the Saudi Arabia show, but he did a match a few weeks after that. During a Japanese tour, he actually did 2 matches. The Club, AJ, Carl Anderson, and Luke Gallows beat
Oh, that's right.
Triple H beat Baron Corbin, Bobby Lashley, Drew McIntyre. and
Is that
Samoa
when
Joe.
when they were doing the Japanese tour and that's when Cena busted out the new finisher, the punch?
He may have the thing.
Well, was that? Oh yeah.
They didn't do a show in China, but I know
Yeah.
He was
did that.
doing the whole during the whole Japan tour. He was busting out that new finisher.
Yeah, it was like a back fist.
it was like a-
Yeah, it's real lame.
But the actual last match for Triple H was a house show at in Tokyo where Shinsuke Nakamura and Triple H defeated Robert Roode and Samoa Joe.
Oh, wow.
That is Triple H's final match.
I love that.
Again, that we know, but I think Triple H is serious
Yeah.
about
Yeah, I think he's the.
because he's WWE for life probably, and WWE will not let him in a ring with a pacemaker.
Yeah.
I was just
That
gonna
is
say,
not going to happen.
the
Yep.
pacemaker thing kind of kills it.
Ric Flair is going to be wrestling with a pacemaker, but
Yeah.
Triple H is not. they're not
I
gonna-
think we'll still see Triple H ringside for a match, and he'll be used in a storyline though.
they might not let him bump.
Yeah.
No,
they're-
he won't bump, but
yeah.
he will be heavily involved in a storyline with a talent that he cannot work with at some point in time in his career, and he'll have somebody go out and be the guy to wrestle for him.
It's just a few we have here too. Bret Hart. We can't talk about Shawn Michaels without talking about Bret Hart. They're intertwined.
Yeah.
And so he obviously had that run in like around the same time Shawn retired. He had that night he had the match with Vince where
Yeah, it was horrible. 15 chair shots.
and then he won the U.S. title after that.
Yeah.
He beat the Miz for the U.S.
Oh,
title.
God.
His actual last match was that year was 2011 against it was a tag match in Canada. Brett and John Cena beat Alberto Del Rio and Ricardo Rodriguez.
What a,
Oh, wow.
what a match.
That is Bret Hart's final match.
Oh boy.
Before that layoff, before the whole thing where he had a stroke and everything, his final match, and he was should not have been wrestling. He was deeply, deeply concussed at this point. It was January 10th, 2000. He was the reigning WCW champion. And he had a no contest with Kevin Nash on Nitro. And then he got the last laugh. After all this stuff with Shawn, his last match before that run in WWE was him as a champion, and he didn't drop the title.
Yeah, I love it.
But it was out of his control.
You know what? You know what they say, right?
What's that?
Either die a hero, live long enough to see yourself become
Well,
a villain.
That wasn't Brett becoming the villain. That was Brett had a major concussion that was undiagnosed for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Well, Sean
Good.
had bad knees and backs and got beat up by military guys. It's
Oh,
all
God.
justified.
He got beat up by the entire United States Marine Corps.
Yeah.
Listen, that's the story. I'm sticking to it.
Sergeant Slaughter led an invasion of a nightclub in
Against
Syracuse.
Shawn Michaels.
That's the rumor.
They had to drop the title.
The other one I want to bring up when we were talking about Shawn Michaels, and I forget when it was somewhere right before Shawn Michaels wrestled Angle at WrestleMania. So that would have been around like 2005. Do you remember? And I love this match. They brought back the Rockers for one night because Marty was back.
Oh yeah.
And it was La Resistance against the Rockers.
Yeah.
And they came out to the music. They came out doing like the whole dance and everything.
As Sean's in his gear,
Yeah.
and
Marty's-
Marty's in Rocker's
Yeah,
gear.
Marty's in
Of course.
Rockers gear and Shawn is like Heartbreak Kid. Yeah.
That's all Marty ever had.
Yeah, he was always Marty
Yeah.
as Marty Rocker.
Usually
Always.
that's what always happens. The one person keeps the tag gimmick, and the other person does something else.
Poor
Yeah.
guy.
Oh yeah. Angelo Dawkins will be a street profit long after that team
Yeah.
breaks up.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then shortly after that is when they did that really good match with Angle and Jannetty on SmackDown. It was good.
And that spawned Sexy Kurt.
Yeah.
He'll make your ankle hurt.
Yeah.
Marty
Scary.
Jannetty still can't walk. I'm just a sexy Kurt.
Give Sherry the
Make
mic.
your
Yeah.
ankle hurt. Kurt did not have a good last match though.
No.
Baron Corbin.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it was supposed to be what, Jason Jordan?
That was the idea.
Probably.
And then he
then
got hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then yeah.
Yeah. He's what, backstage now? He still is backstage.
He's a producer, and I think
yeah.
he's like a high level producer.
Yeah.
Steve Austin is one who did have a good final act just recently against Kevin Owens.
Yeah. Before that, The Rock.
Yeah, before that, it was
WrestleMania.
it was WrestleMania 19 was his last match for a long time, and then WrestleMania 38, 19 years
Jesus
later,
Christ.
he comes back. Because before that, his last match was against.
I wish
The Rock.
Sean would have just ended with Undertaker.
I think Sean
I
wishes
think-
Sean would have
I
ended
think
with
everyone
Undertaker.
just in their minds that's what happened.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like, yeah, that never happened. It's
Yeah.
it's non-canon.
Ryan Vox said, not even the good law resistance.
No,
Oh,
yeah.
it's Rob Conway and
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sylvain Garnier.
And not the pre
Yeah.
Cafe de Rene. So then, speaking of tag teams, the Legion of Doom, Hawk and Animal, their final match was July 11th, 2003 in Nagata, Japan against
Oh.
the Crushers, who were the Shane twins.
Mm.
But not that long before that, they had their final American match. It was in Philly. And it was
Poor
against
guys.
it's the greatest wrestling city in the country.
Yeah.
Do you like Ring of Honor?
Yeah.
I do.
Do you like ECW and what that did? Do you like the Attitude Era?
Sure do.
Yeah. Where did that come from?
Yeah.
It can come from
Yeah.
there, but it's just unfortunate that they have to wrestle. in that too.
Why? That seems like a hot town.
That's where the ECW arena
I'm
was.
just fucking with Brian.
Yeah.
That's where the, or I just
Yeah.
I actually don't care. I'm just messing with Brian.
Well, you know me, I'm gullible.
All of the movements that has spawned everything you love about
Yeah.
wrestling came from Philadelphia.
I'm aware.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Kelly, MJF thing is a work. I'm just letting you know.
No, I'm not gullible
Okay.
on that one.
All right.
So
Sometimes with you though, is different.
they had a match with Kane and Rob Van Dam, who were the tag team champions at the time on Raw at the First Union Center. I believe it's called at the
Just
time.
before or after he became the drunk guy who fell off the Titantron.
Oh, well, after.
yeah. a couple years after.
after. This was
That was like 98.
they were I would say in a state of semi-retirement at this
Yeah.
point.
Yeah,
And-
I remember
and
watching
not-
the TV. I'm like, this is ridiculous.
So I believe later that year is when Hawk died. I
Yeah.
think Hawk may have died in 2003. And another match, it wasn't his last match. Hogan's last match was actually in England for Impact.
Oh, it wasn't Bubba's bedroom.
That may have come later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a match against Heather the Love Sponge.
There's a
Heather
documentary on
Sponge.
Netflix I just watched about it.
Terry Bollea
Hey.
does not have a 10-inch penis. Hulk
Yeah,
Hogan
Hulk Hogan.
has a 10-inch penis.
That was great.
That's the basis on how he won that money.
Well, if I heard that, I'm like, well, that's true.
Well,
That's
give
true.
him his
That's
money.
How wrestling works.
that's how it works.
I hope Chris Helmsworth says that in the Hogan movie.
So Hogan's actual last match was in.
Is that really being produced in like May?
That's why
Yes.
he's jacked beyond
Have you
belief.
seen him in the,
no,
in the
I
North
haven't
Door
seen
trailer?
him. No, I
I didn't
haven't.
see a picture of that.
Huge.
He's as big as The Rock.
He's
okay. I've
yeah.
seen him in his Thor gear, but not like
No, there's
shirtless.
and then one
he's
trailer,
a whole
like,
new version
naked.
of Thor. He's huge.
Boy.
He is going for the pythons. I'm telling you right now. Yeah, he's going for it.
Well, who's playing Macho Man then? Do we know?
Is Macho Man gonna be in the movie?
Yeah, I don't know. So they only announced Hogan.
Eric Pinhead says y'all got to shout out JoJo. She's graduating from high school right now. We
Yeah.
did we did at the top of the show, but we'll
Gio-
definitely do it again.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Chio
Yeah.
was saying sorry he can't make it. He's at a graduation. He's got
But they turned heel and said, "But not my daughters."
Yeah. JoJo goes up and flips the whole crowd off. She turns heel. Yeah, go ahead.
So Hogan's last match, it was in Impact during UK tour. It was Hogan, James Storm, and Sting defeating Bobby Roode, Bully Ray, and Kurt Angle.
Mm.
But his last singles match and his last match in the United States was at the Leocoris Center in Philadelphia,
Mm.
where they've done a few dynamites now.
Yes,
Temple
they've done a
University.
handful of them there.
He says, "All right, just got on." Well, if you actually look
no
here,
problem.
here we got a Diamond City War Machines
Oh, yeah.
T-shirt. At the
Yeah,
table.
how about that, Eric?
It's hard to see with the camera, but yeah, we're rocking a Diamond City shirt.
And it was Sting defeating Hulk Hogan to Bound for Glory. So not
Oh.
only does Hulk Hogan have his last match, he did the job, which almost never happens.
Yeah.
It worked for him, brother.
Yeah. Well, he had some. He was office and in
Yeah.
TNA, so he was
Yeah.
more.
What was Warrior's last match against Hogan? Or did he
no,
do like a shitty indie?
he did a match in like Italy against Orlando Jordan.
What?
Yeah, yeah, it was in like 2008.
Is that also Orlando Jordan's last match?
It may be no, because remember he was in Impact for a while. He was doing like the bisexual.
Yeah, that was not good.
Yeah. Ultimate Warrior's last match. It was something called NWE. It was like Return of the Warrior.
Ooh.
The Ultimate Warrior defeats Orlando Jordan for the NWE World Heavyweight title. I wonder who else has been the NWE World Heavyweight champion.
That might have been one and only.
One and only. What about Roddy Piper? Didn't he have his last match in like an insane clown posse production?
Yes, he did.
Wow.
Yes,
That's what
he
I
did.
thought. I was
Juggalo Championship Wrestling.
yes.
Championship wrestling. That's what they called it.
yeah.
The great one, Roddy Piper.
Yeah.
Ends it all
Mm.
Yeah. In fact,
in front of the massive Juggalo festival.
Yeah, the gathering.
in
The
fact,
Gathering.
it was somebody we'll be seeing very soon was in this match. We'll be seeing him in about a week and a half at PPW. Cowboy Bob Orton.
Oh, yes.
wow.
Yes, that's right.
Cowboy Bob Orton Jr. Well, it's just as Bob Orton, so it might have been Bob Sr., but I think Bob Sr. was dead.
Because
in
that was
2011.
billed
Yeah.
as like a Legends type thing,
It was
wasn't it?
it was JCW Legends and Icons.
Yeah.
Mm.
It was Bob Orton teaming with Roddy Piper, the Ace, and the Hot Rod back together again, and they defeated Mick Foley and Terry Funk.
Wow.
they got
Love
Mick
that.
and Terry
Yeah.
at the
There's Terry
gathering.
again.
Yeah, and by the way, Mick Foley's last match was the year after that. It was in 2012. It was the 2012 Royal Rumble.
Oh
Was
wow.
his last
yeah.
match. The
That's a
one
good way to go.
won by
Yeah.
Sheamus.
Now, could he get back in the ring? You think? Or is
No.
he done too?
No.
Mick,
Yeah,
Yeah.
no,
Mick-
Mick
Mick
has
is
trouble
enough,
walking.
please God, I don't want to see Mick wrestle
Mick's
anymore.
gonna
And not
be
Mick has done enough, and I
He still does enough behind.
you want to meet
Yeah.
Mick, you're gonna have a chance if you want to go to Jersey in a few weeks.
Yeah.
He's gonna be at there's a show at Great Adventure. Six Flags Great Adventure, and he's gonna
Oh.
be there.
Mm.
So yeah, I just want to run through this JCW Legends and Icons show, see who's all on here. Dark tag team match, not Legends. Tito Santana against Greg Valentine in a cage.
Oh boy,
This
what
is
year
in
was this?
2011. This is
Oh.
August 12th, 2011. And I guess it's like I think it was at like that thing that was called like the Gathering.
Yeah.
they do. 15-man battle royal. You had Rob Conway, Eugene Carlito, Rikishi, Headbanger Mosh, Jimmy Snuka, Zach Gowen, Brutus Beefcake,
Yeah.
Doink the Clown. Oh, both headbangers. Disco Inferno, Ronnie Garvin,
Wow.
who will be at Legends of Hamburg, Viscera, Tony Atlas, who will be at Legends of
Mhm.
Hamburg, and Hacksaw Jim Duggan in a battle royal.
what's the most awkward moment you ever had meeting a legend?
And apparently Doink was Matt Bourne. I just
Oh,
looked it
wow.
up.
Did I ever tell you my Superfly story?
No.
So we went.
Did he ask you to hide a body on the side of a roadway?
No, he might as well if it would have made it less awkward. So we go to where they just shot that one show in Hazleton, that like flea market in Hazleton Heights. It was like an indoor flea market.
You
You know,
I don't
so-
know, but yeah, keep going.
We just all went there for a show recently. So it's like this. It's like a giant hometown flea market that's
Okay.
inside of a building.
Yeah.
So we go. My aunt Colleen's like, "Hey, we always know you're a big wrestling fan. Jimmy Snuka is going to be here. Come up and see him wrestle." I go, "Cool." So we come up, and it's me and my brother, and we get there before everybody, and I'm ringside. Actually, I think that people who I know were actually in that match. I don't remember, but like now that I met later on, they wrestled there.
Yeah.
But so Jimmy Snuka wrestles in this, like, it's just like a outdoor tent with a wrestling ring underneath it. So we get there first and we're ringside, and a bunch of special needs people came in and like, hey, is anyone willing to give up their seats for them so they can have front row? And then we're like, and they're like, but the only problem is we don't have any other seats to give to anybody. So I nudged my brother. I said, stand up. We're giving our seats away. And we're the only ones to do it. So we gave our 2 seats away, and they're like, yo, and the guy comes up to me. He's like, before the show's over, come to that door. When everyone, like, as everyone's leaving, come to that door, and I got something for you. And I was like, you don't have to give us anything. We're just, we're doing the right thing. And he goes, I'm telling you, come to that door. Not a problem. Jimmy Snuka goes out there, wrestles. He does like a first rope splash.
Yeah.
Like
As he got older, he got lower on the rope.
Yeah.
Did he wrestle a Metal Maniac?
I don't remember who he wrestled. Yeah. So after the show's over, we go to that door, and they just bring us in. Like, come here, kid. They put 2 chairs in the middle of this room, and Jimmy Snuka just walks over and they're like, Jimmy, these 2 kids, at the time I'm probably like 13, 14. My brother's like 3, right? So they just put us in these metal chairs, and they're like, Jimmy, these 2 kids gave up their seats so like special needs kids can sit down, special needs families can sit down. We want you to meet them. And the guy just leaves.
That's awesome.
So it's just me, my 3-year-old brother, and Jimmy Snuka, who doesn't even acknowledge the fact we're there, and just completely changes in front of us.
Oh my
So we
God.
just sit in a steel chair and just see Jimmy Snuka get naked.
Oh God.
He didn't even talk to
He
you.
didn't even talk to us.
Not hello or shook your hand
he
or
literally
anything.
towel.
Hey,
He did the towel off, where he toweled off all of his sweat. He changed his underwear, put pants on and a t-shirt, and gave me like and walked away.
Wow.
So because we gave our seats up, we got a strip tease from
So there you go.
the Superfly.
The moral of the story: always keep your seats up.
That's right.
Yep, that was.
It's not what you
and
want
then-
to see. I
and
don't think.
my mom or my dad or whoever, my aunt, where there was like, you got to meet Jimmy. I'm like, I seen him change. They're like, what do you mean? I'm like, he didn't talk to us. Yeah.
How about this match in this JCW show? Ken Patera versus Bob Backlund.
Whoa, Jesus.
I have a debit card signed by a signature spot by Foley. When I asked him, he said, "Is that even legal?"
That's funny.
And then is that the one that Zach won, the one-legged man that won the ass-kicking contest?
How's that going?
Zach Allen, yeah.
Yeah, the Midnight Express, Ethan Condor against the Rock and Roll Express on
Wow.
the show. Al Snow versus Sabu versus Shane Douglas versus Rhino versus Balls Mahoney, Raven, and Too Cold Scorpio. And
That
it's
sounds
7
fun.
way.
Yeah.
Did I ever tell a story about how a friend of mine is probably literally the last thing Balls Mahoney ever saw?
Really?
Yes, this is completely true. Because Balls Mahoney's wife, when he passed away, she goes on Twitter. He's like, "Yeah, we were just watching Jeopardy," and I look over, and the next thing I know, he's unresponsive. He's gone. And at that time, a buddy of mine, Ricky, was on Jeopardy. He actually was the champion for like 3 days.
Really?
And that was around the time Balls Mahoney died. So we just would say, Ricky, you killed Balls Mahoney.
Yeah. You were doing so
He
well.
goes, who the hell's Balls Mahoney?
Yeah.
No, he's a wrestling
That's
fan.
cool.
Yeah. I just watched clips of, I don't know why this just, when wrestlers are on game shows.
Mhm.
Do you remember when they were all on
Family
The
Feud.
Weakest Link?
Oh no.
Oh yeah, Booker T gave the worst answer.
I don't know.
And they just trolled the lady was trying to because her whole gimmick is she's like stone face and
yeah.
you can't make her laugh, and she tries to insult everybody. So she's trying to out gimmick a bunch of wrestlers. And she's like, Austin, Stone Cold. Why do you think you're a badass? She goes, because I am, lady. Like they're just like, and Bubba the whole time he was just like, you're not gonna outwork me. Like Bubba was just like getting on her bad. It was
My favorite thing that was they did Double Dare a few times with wrestlers. And the best one is they did Double Dare. It'd be like it'd be a wrestler and a kid against a wrestler and a kid. And they did one where it was Heenan and Monsoon.
Yeah. That's awesome.
And they must have gimmicked it where they gave the kids the prizes anyway, because they do the obstacle course at the end.
they just start fighting.
Well, what happened was Heenan was doing the obstacle course. It was one of those ones with a big tank where they had to jump in. It's filled with pudding or something. Monsoon gave Heenan the backdrop into the tank. And they did another one with Duggan and Mr. Perfect. And
This should be an episode. We should do wrestlers on game shows.
yes,
there were a lot of Family Feud back
Yeah.
then.
we could talk about Ox Baker being on The Price is Right.
Oh wow. I know
We
that.
talk about Frankie Kazarian.
Wasn't
being on The Price is
Cocabana
Right.
also on the price?
He may have been. I think Brian Kendrick may have been on
Yeah.
The Price is Right.
We could maybe even show some clips on air.
Yeah, we could try. Well, maybe that'd be a future
That
episode.
might be a copyright strike if we do that, though.
Yeah.
That's the other thing.
I think you're allowed up to 30 seconds
Are
or
ya?
something. Yeah, I think that's the way it works.
Yeah, Ox Baker was on The Price is Right in like the 70s, I think.
Wow.
All right. Any other last matches before we get close to the end here?
They're all the ones I prepped for, unless we have anybody you feel like we haven't really covered.
No, I mean, I know just off the top of your head, or any matches like, so for example, like Big E was completely unaware that it's probably his last match was.
Well, let's not be so sure yet.
Well, I'm just saying, like match like Rick Rude we talked about in the beginning. Is there anyone else that like had an injury that they weren't expecting? That like,
Well, Edge was,
Edge that was his last match
Yeah.
for a long time. He thought it would be his last match.
Paige.
is there anyone who?
Well, has she even wrestled since then?
No.
Yeah,
I mean, she was cleared, I think, right?
yeah, and then Sasha Banks gave her a fucking
Corey Graves.
double boot in the back.
Yeah,
of the neck.
Corey Graves is cleared.
Do you
Yeah.
think there's anyone that we have thought we've seen their last match
And they're going to come back?
can make an appearance? We'll just kind of freeball that at the end.
After Steve Austin came back, I think anybody's on the table.
Yeah.
After CM Punk and Steve Austin came back, those are the ones who are like, yeah, they
Then
made
our
it.
guy's seen it going, well, you know what? Maybe I can do it.
Do we ever get Brett?
No.
No, Brett. I think
Not in a
Brett's
match,
too
but
old.
even like just like anything
Like a
with
referee
AEW.
or something.
maybe
Maybe a ref, maybe a manager.
A
Well, I
one-time
don't thi-
appearance
not
or
with,
something.
Not with AEW now because he signed the WWE.
He could be a Legends contract, but he
Yeah.
could still work other places.
Oh, okay.
And they
Well,
said
not
you
AEW. Brett's not going to bump. Brett didn't even bump in 2010
Yeah.
when he came back.
Okay.
Because it
I
wasn't
think
necessarily
it
the
might
question, it was
be
the stroke.
Something like Martha did, like
Yeah.
give awarded the
Yeah.
title or something.
I think
That's about it.
I think Paige. I think we'll see
Yeah.
Paige.
I think Paige will come back eventually.
I think we'll see Corey, which is sucks. I really like
But
Corey.
he got
on
cleared, so
commentary.
he's ready to go.
Yeah.
You could see Booker T possibly.
Yeah, I can see Booker T doing one here and there.
At Hamburg.
Yeah.
I don't see him wrestling Hamburg.
Booker
That'd be
T
cool.
versus Ian Bush.
Yeah.
Book it, Vox.
Yeah. Make it happen.
I would assume Goldberg will wrestle again. I don't want to see it. Nobody wants to see it, but he probably will.
Well, we hope we see Goldberg's last match.
Yeah.
That's one we hope we can write off and hopefully that's
Legends of
his last
Hamburg. You
one.
know who Legends of Hamburg needs after they put that little promo out of Booker T and Sharmell? They need the Boogeyman there.
Oh, that
Yeah.
Boogeyman's very obtainable.
Yeah. We need the Boogeyman in that hot building with that face paint on.
that card is already quite stacked
How-
already, and you want to keep adding to
Yeah.
it.
By the
There's more
way-
coming. Vox said there's more
Oh
coming.
my
I'm
gosh!
thinking back to last year because last year was pretty hot. How did Doink keep his face paint
Yeah,
on? I know
dude.
he was only there half the day.
See,
Dude,
he said it with hairspray.
he just kept staring at people
Oh God.
like he was terrifying. He
I
legit
would
scared
can
the-
imagine.
he scared the
'Cause
shit out of
There are people that are scared to death.
I
of
wouldn't go near him.
clowns.
You know, we didn't mention Jushin Liger, but he had the 2 matches at Wrestle Kingdom.
Yeah, the 8-man tag was.
I
the
think
last
Ref
match.
Matt was on the weakest link.
Oh wow.
There you go.
Was he? I don't know. I'm about to ask him.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Jushin just had a
Yeah,
retirement.
I wouldn't rule him out forever.
Yeah, I mean,
I can see him come back for a
people
little
have-
something.
Yeah, people tend to come back as legends. Like he might do like one of the Rambos. and-
Yeah, or come back as the Legends 8-man. You
Yeah.
know.
Did Fandango, also known as Dirty Dango, did he actually retire now, or did he?
I don't know.
kinda
He's working on
cry-
it.
He's
cry
still on
wolf
Indies
that
all
one?
the
He's
time.
working-
He
He
just
just-
teamed with Mitch.
He just
Yeah.
team
Yeah.
with Mitch at
There for a while,
PPW.
he was crying. It was his last one a couple months ago.
A lot of people
Last
say
one,
that.
and
Yeah.
then-
Yeah.
They come back.
Actually, no, he didn't say it was his
Del
last one.
Rio's coming back.
Tyler Breeze said he's done wrestling. He just wants to work
Well,
on
there was,
training.
there was a point there. He was. I'm sure of it. I heard
He did say he was going to retire.
he was
but
gonna
Everybody,
retire.
people said it a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Steve
Chris,
Richards said that, and then he
Yeah.
came back.
If you can book,
Why is Tyler done? Just doesn't want
I
to.
just think he uses money very wisely,
Mhm.
and I feel like he's at a point now where he can just train, and he got into investments and a lot of other different things.
video games.
He made a lot of money.
He's
Oh,
doing
wow.
stuff with Xavier Woods again. I think on Up Down Down.
Yep. If
You-
you can, and I'm not fucking putting you in the grave already, but if you can put your last match, like what would you, if you're gonna end it, how would you want to, or I don't know, opponent, anything can happen there.
I
Like,
can't say opponent because what if I wrestle for 20 more years?
that's what I'm saying. I
What
don't
if
want to
someone
say
who didn't even
like an
start yet?
opponent, but like, is there a type of match that you like?
It's just a regular match.
Just a regular
Nothing.
match,
Yeah.
you
Yeah,
don't
would
want
you-
a fancy flair.
like
to
a
it.
6-man tag, or do you want to
No, one-on-one.
One-on-one.
Think about this. Andy grew up knowing Mr. Ooh La La.
Yeah.
And now
then
Andy is wrestling
Yeah.
Mr. Ooh La La.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
he could have a lot left in the tank.
Yeah. So who knows?
I
you know?
think you have a lot left. I think
I think so
I
too.
think this year
I look
has
much
proved
younger than what
you've put your body in position that you probably added more years to your career.
probably. Plus, I don't do drugs or anything like
Yeah.
that, or drink. I don't have a
Not
hard
yet. We'll-
lifestyle.
we'll get
you know.
Yeah, you don't have a hard in-ring style either.
Yeah.
You're not doing hardcore matches.
Yeah,
You're
I'm not
falling off
wrestling.
of 50
You know, 5 times a week, 6 times
Yeah.
a week. So
It's very smart. All right. Well, speaking of wrestling, let's get your plugs out.
yeah. Hold on. Where's my phone? I want to get the address right for the.
Well, we'll come back to you,
Yeah.
Brian.
Murder My Dude
Yours is-
is the same every time.
Second
it's
nature.
ProjectHumanoid.com. It's true crime with a comedic twist. This is the in-between week, so we'll have a new episode next Friday. The last episode was about Lacey Peterson, the very famous case of the missing white woman syndrome is what we refer to it. On
Happens a lot.
But next week, I believe we'll be doing our. We try to do a Pride episode every June, so I believe we're going to be talking about. I believe it's called the Hampton Roads Killer. I forget.
Well, we already found out the podcast you can listen to get your stories from.
What's that?
With that true crime Pride show where it's like,
oh yeah,
that's
well, I have an idea. So
Yeah.
it's in the. It is somebody. It was. I'm going to get the exact name of them here.
that's how we prep for his other episode. I found this podcast is like a Pride It's like a Pride podcast, but it's about like people who are either involved in the murder or the murderees, but they're all like part of the Pride community or the LGBT.
That was our Friday the 13th episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's LGBTQ and then some two other
Plus.
Yeah.
plus,
Or
plus.
beyond.
Yeah, because
There's an I and a something else now.
yeah, that's what they just do.
IA or
They usually will
PI.
say LGBT plus. Yeah, the last I remember, there's other ones too. It was LGBTQIAA,
IAA.
intersex, asexual ally. Yeah, but the shorthand is LBGT plus, I believe.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll be talking about the Hampton Roads Killer, who was a serial killer around Virginia, who was a gay man himself and preyed on, unfortunately, gay and bisexual men, and pretty much got away with it for a long time because even in 1998, when he got caught, there was still a stigma against gay people in parts of rural
your
Virginia.
episode with the Friday the 13th kill, a lot of it was like people who were assaulted or did maybe survive what they probably shouldn't have survived also didn't come out because they knew the circumstances of why they were in their situation. It would have outed them as in their sexuality, and it was so bogged down and like, not talked about.
Just as a teaser, in this case, people were disqualified from the jury because they said, I don't know if I can be impartial in a case where the victim is gay.
That is crazy.
Ain't that something?
In 1998.
Yeah.
And that's why when people are like, I think it's stupid when businesses put a pride flag around their logo.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, I think we should fucking show support because it hasn't been support for a very long time. And I think people rising up and being allies, even if you're not part of the community, is important.
So yeah, project219.com is where you'll find Murder My Dude. Just look up Murder My Dude wherever you listen to podcasts, you'll find it. And that'll be coming next Friday. Until then, you can check out the Lacey Peterson episode. You can check out about 120 some odd other episodes.
Yeah, I've been killing it. Kelly,
quite the back catalog.
Truth Behind the Illusion. This past Tuesday, we done the 27 Club. We had some laughs and we learned about some of the members, some of the lesser known members of the 27 Club, some of our theories around it. Yeah, go back and listen.
Was
to
it
that.
the devil? Was it the Illuminati? Or was it heroin? Or you
Saturn
aliens.
Return couldn't handle.
yeah. Or was it your Saturn return?
Perry Saturn return.
You're welcome.
Taking them all out with the three handled family credenza. Moss covered family credenza.
Oh, so breaking news here, kind of. Peacock is doing a
hopefully line-wide reboot, and they have a new system.
Peacock is doing a Twisted Metal series.
Oh wow!
And
what's his name? Is the
Will
main
Arnett?
guy?
Will Arnett's going to be Sweet Tooth.
No, I thought it was a black guy.
I thought I saw Will Arnett.
I forget his name.
The guy who did Batman and Lego Batman.
Yeah.
Somebody was gonna be Roadkill, the car. If you remember the junkie car from Twisted Metal. Oh, I forget.
But I guess it's a dual role with Will Arnett as Sweet Tooth, because I guess maybe he'll be like, I think Needles Kane was the name of him.
Yeah.
Then he becomes Sweet Tooth at some point, and Sweet Tooth is going to be voiced by Samoa Joe.
Oh wow!
Wow.
He's also the voice of
Crypto in the new Super Pets movie.
also in fucking the Suicide Squad game. He is
King Shark.
King Shark.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then apparently Thunder Rosa was sent home from Dynamite because she wasn't feeling well. So, maybe COVID. You
Yeah.
never know.
There's
Who knows?
reports too that she's not happy with her on-screen time too.
Well,
I think she got a lot this week.
You just had
you're the women's champion.
Yeah, you just
Yeah,
you're a
what more
women's
do you want?
champion.
Yeah.
You just had a match to win in 20 minutes. I don't know what more you could really get.
Nope.
Yeah. Once again, reported.
Yeah.
A match that went 20 minutes on a show that went 13 hours.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I think it's still going.
Andy.
All right. So if you want to see me wrestle this Saturday in Reading, well, actually Birdsboro, sorry, but it's outside Reading. It's RCW Mega Brawl. This is called Birdsboro Beatdown, and I will be me, the ultimate rematch for Dublin. No, the Warrior will not be there. It's me versus Mr. Uala, Part 2.
Are you going to come out as the
So,
Warrior because
no.
rematch?
Yeah, no, it's the ultimate rematch. I should. So it is at the Friendship Fire Company in Birdsboro, Pennsylvania. It's right next to the new Boyers. If you're familiar with
You can
Birdsboro,
go to
Pennsylvania.
Boyers for whatever you
214
need
West
before
First
the
Street.
match.
If
Yeah.
you want to see Andy Header lose his title to Mr. Ooh La La,
Yeah. Go to 214 West First Street, RCW, and
Is that the show with Duggan?
no,
Oh.
that would be Sunday. So the RCW is June 4th, but Sunday, June 5th. Hold on here.
Double shot weekend for him.
Yeah, RWF Ground Zeroes, it's called. There's a lot of people on this show. Not only will I be wrestling Matt Quay in a 3 stages of hell match, whatever that means. IRS is going to be there. And then his Money Inc. tag partner, Ted DiBiase, will be there, not wrestling. Jim Duggan. This guy will be wrestling. PCO is going to be there.
Oh,
Yeah.
Our dear friend.
Yeah, so that's so PCO, Jim Duggan, and Money Inc. will be
Tell
there.
him to expect a text from us soon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll talk to him. So they will be there, and I'll be in action there. Who am I wrestling there?
Matt Quay.
Matt Quay.
Matt Quay, yes.
3 stages of hell.
I got confused there. It blends together. So that should be pretty good. And that is at HMAC in Harrisburg.
Cool
So,
venue.
yeah, I think I have the address here. It's 1110, so 1110
Easy to
North
remember.
3rd Street, Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. It's actually hard.
Yeah.
What was it? Was it 3 1s? Was it 2 1s? At the HMAC. in
Just type
Harrisburg.
in HMAC.
Yeah, that's RWF, and it will be streamed live on YouTube. So I was going to share out the link, and you can watch it on YouTube, and there's full commentary and everything.
Yeah.
So, and it's a very good production there.
Yeah, cool. One of the things you posted that I kind of I forgot to talk about in the show is the new WWE Superstar action figures.
Oh yeah, they look
the
awesome.
Walmart exclusives.
Yeah, they look like the He-Man, the Mattel. Same people make them.
Yeah.
Make the He-Man.
Yeah, that's a cool line, man. I think I'm gonna not collect them all, but I think I'm gonna grab a couple.
Get
of
the
those.
people you like.
I'm just getting Flair.
Yeah,
Flair in the state wave 1.
I didn't check there for.
I want Flair, and then obviously wave 2. I want all 3. I want Nash.
I think
not Hall
it's
and
Shawn
Shawn.
Michaels, Nash, Hall, and I believe Steve Austin.
Is he part of that wave? I thought the
I-
wave 3. Oh, maybe. Yeah.
That's 2.
Yeah. That's
Wave
2.
3 would be Mankind, Ted DiBiase.
I'm not a Warrior guy,
Undertaker.
but that Warrior one.
Warrior looks awesome.
It looks so good.
And he has the comic book coat on the back. so-
Yeah. Fucking hate it. I don't want. I'm not
And
buying.
Papa
it.
Shango.
Yeah. Papa Shango's dope. Who will also be at PPW this week in a couple weeks.
Yes.
Is Papa Shango really?
Yeah.
Well, the Godfather.
Oh,
Godfather.
Yeah.
Oh, that's 2 different people, man. That's 2 different people. If you're going to meet and greet, you get a picture of Papa Shango. It's a lot different to get a picture with Godfather.
Godfather.
all right?
Yeah. I don't think he's gonna be in Papa Shango.
Just like if you get a picture of Freddy Krueger, it's a lot different to get your picture with what's his name?
Robert England.
Robert
Yes.
Englund,
Yeah. But all right, check out the IWEP network. That's iwepnetwork.com. We have a lot of great shows.
Could you imagine how much money Barry Darsow can make at Legends of
I
Hamburg?
know.
Yeah, I want to get a picture with Blacktop Bully, the Repo Man,
Yeah.
Mr. Hole in One, Smash, Crusher Khrushchev.
Just have like one of those
Yeah.
those
He
Japanese
just puts a different shirt on.
changing
Yeah.
rooms, and he just
Yeah.
goes in and runs out. The IWP network, you can check out shows like Body Slams Podcast Network. You can
Mhm.
check out Welcome Back, all the shows, Truth Behind Illusion, all of them are all on there.
Box Pal.
Full Box Pals.
Wait,
There's just
welcome
tons. Just
back,
go to iwpnetwork.com. If you want to grab some merchandise, go grab that. All the support. Patreon is there as well if you want to support the new Patreon. Thank you guys so much. We'll see you next Thursday or possibly this Sunday if we record something. We'll find out. We'll figure it out. It's hell in a cell, but you
Well, we
can play.
already said this is our last podcast for this.
Yeah, we're retired. This is it.
Yeah.
See you guys. It's been a great run. We were gonna bite to 160, but things happen. But you can still follow us on social media, and maybe we'll be back next week. We'll see you next time. We'll see you never. We're dead. Bye bye.
Soon.
I can't find the button. I always do this.
Oh,
Oh, no.
Never say never.